holiday decor, and so much more, along with all the great bargains we always have for you. It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. Friday, July 19th, our top story, waking up to a nationwide outage.
I'm Erik Bilstad. An historic night on stage in Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Everything's looking great on the freeway system right now. No delays and no incidents. They are starting to pick up some of those barriers around the downtown area for those security zones. So they'll be all cleared up by the end of the day, but they're working on it. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Beautiful weather today, sunshine. A few clouds moving in the afternoon. Bit warmer, high 79. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 64. Right now, Milwaukee at 62 degrees. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Windows outage by Microsoft causing worldwide ground stopping for major airlines serving airports all over the planet and here in Milwaukee. The airport reporting that the delays include United, Frontier, and Delta. TMJ4's Sydney Orr is at Milwaukee Mitchell, where the lines are out the door.
The line is actually out of the door, just beginning to come right inside. A lot of lines, a lot of people hoping to get answers and get moving along to catch their flights. People coming from the RNC. You can actually see a lot of security from the RNC in these lines as well. After a long week, this is the last thing a lot of people wanted to deal with here this morning. Obviously, we're seeing a huge influx of people that we normally wouldn't see.
Yeah, anybody flying today, according to Milwaukee Mitchell, should check their flight status before even leaving for the airport. Mitchell saying if your flight is delayed or canceled, you should not come to the airport, should instead keep in touch with the airline for more information.
And this is not the day you want to be traveling out of Milwaukee.
Might keep some folks here for a while.
The Republican National Convention is in the books, having wrapped up with the acceptance speech from the party's presidential nominee.
I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole
As written, Donald Trump's speech didn't include the name of the incumbent, but several minutes in,
only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time.
Inside the hall, his supporters loved it.
It was an incredible speech. I think he's bringing the American people back together.
At 93 minutes, it was the longest nomination acceptance speech at any convention, a record Trump himself set in 2016. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Milwaukee.
A party-like atmosphere in the bowl at Pfizer Forum Thursday.
Here on the floor of Pfizer Forum, I can seize the cheeseheads waving from the Wisconsin delegation. Red, white, and blue balloons at their feet. An address that lasted an hour and a half. The former president in a red tie and dark blue suit. One Wisconsin delegate telling me it was a long speech, but it was a speech full of things that needed to be said. Pfizer Forum, the floor in the bowl, absolutely rocking. Inside Pfizer Forum, John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Meanwhile, President Biden is self-isolating after testing positive for COVID. And on top of that, he's been under increasing pressure from members of his own party to withdraw from the race. Senator John Tester became the second Senate Democrat to publicly urge the commander-in-chief to bow out. ABC's Karen Travers.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has privately told some House Democrats she believes that President Biden is more receptive to hearing those calls for him to step aside and that those conversations could push him to make a decision soon. But this is important. Right now, there is no indication from officials and certainly nothing that anybody at the White House or the campaign is saying publicly that the president is changing his mind right now.
And amid these growing calls for the president to step aside in the race, Vice President Kamala Harris planning to visit Milwaukee days after the RNC concludes. VP will be in Milwaukee on Tuesday. Location and time for the vice president's arrival has not yet been determined.
Coming up, a comedic legend passes away.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:04.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, go where summer leads you and drive inspired year-round in the new Mazda or Mazda-certified pre-owned model that's right for you. Connect with Holiday for their low, simplified price, more for your trade, then stack that savings with the season's best offers to lower your bottom line in payment. Score generous customer cash on many, or well-qualified buyers can lock in finance rates as low as 0% on favorites, like the invigorating Mazda 3 hatchback, Mazda CX-5 or CX-30, the rugged and refined Mazda CX-50, or the roomy and responsive 3-row Mazda CX-90. Which Mazda's right for you? Treat yourself to a test drive and find out. Team Holiday's fun, simple, and pressure-free buying approach and genuine guest care makes fans of drivers from all over Wisconsin. I'm one of those fans and confident you will be too. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and online at holidaymazda.com. Holiday Mazda. It's worth the trip.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:06.
The former Green Bay Packer thinks Jordan Love and the team are far apart in their contract negotiations. What Love did this week that tipped him off. That's coming up in sports at 6:15.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley reflecting on one of the biggest weeks of the city of Milwaukee with the RNC. Crowley telling WTMJ Spanning the State he's heard mixed reactions from residents on the convention.
You know, there are a lot of people who are just like, they cannot wait for them to leave, but they also recognize the opportunity, right? This is an economic boom, not just for Milwaukee. Racine, Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington.
Crowley was also looking forward to hearing what residents and also conventioneers would say about the airport. And given what's happening today with this global network outage and the long lines at many airports, unfortunately, some of these convention goers may have a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, right. Not our fault,
right.
But that doesn't mean they had the wonderful Mitchell International experience that we had hoped. A school bus crashed with a minivan, injured 11 people, including 10 children. This happened Thursday afternoon, Sunnyside Drive and Church Road in the town of Dover. 46 children and 5 adults were on the bus. They were headed to a summer camp event. 10 children, 1 adult taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. 1 adult driver and 3 children were in the minivan, and they did not need additional medical treatment.
One of the best to ever do it has passed away, Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart's publicist, Jerry Digney, says the iconic comedian died after a series of short illnesses at his home in Los Angeles. Newhart was perhaps best known for 2 very popular CBS sitcoms, The Show Newhart in the 80s and The Bob Newhart Show in the 70s.
I can be spontaneous if you give me a week or two, to plan it out.
His 1960 comedy album, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, won him 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year and Best New Artist. It was his first comedy album, and it also topped the sales charts. In recent years, he won an Emmy for guest starring on The Big Bang Theory. Bob Newhart was 94. Jason Nathanson, ABC News.
I wasn't very old. But, boy, I watched Newhart a lot with my parents. Every week. I think it was on a Monday night, I want to say. Watch that show all the time.
Hey, coming up next on Wisconsin's Morning News, a global IT outage affecting us here in Milwaukee and people all over the planet. What we learned about that, plus what you can expect if you're headed downtown today and into the weekend as we clean up after the RNC. That's just ahead on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Feeling bullied by your bank?
It's not a hidden fee, it's a surprise fee. Surprise!
Like they're just making things harder.
That's not my department. I got a transfer.
Or like they don't even know you?
That sounds like a you problem.
At Wintrust, we take a different approach. Whether you need banking solutions, a new home, or help planning your financial future, we've got local experts ready to lend a hand.
Wintrust.
Start banking where you matter at wintrust.com/bullyfree. Wintrust. Different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp. Banks. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the road. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
6:10 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Checking in with Debbie Lazica.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good across the entire area. Not seeing any delays right now or any incidents for that matter. The area around downtown is just something to keep in mind. It's not like you can't get in without a problem, but they are still in the process of clearing out those concrete barriers that were around the perimeter of the security zone. So those should be done soon, but just something to keep in mind. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Another beautiful day on the way. We'll see plenty of sunshine this morning. Just a couple clouds mixing in this afternoon with high temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperatures in the 60s. On Saturday, partly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the lower 80s. Sunday brings in a little bit more humidity, high temperatures in the upper 70s, and there will be the small chance for an afternoon shower or storm. Small rain chances continue into Monday with high temperatures near 80. Rain chances go up a bit more into Tuesday with high temperatures remaining near 80. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 62 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Coming up on 6:12 on this Friday morning, Milwaukee, you are slowly getting your downtown back. Overnight work to break down barricades and security checkpoints continues this morning. It's certainly not gone. And some folks trying to get out of town today may have airport issues. We're going to get into that a little bit more in a moment. First, what's happening downtown. Some of the barricades are gone. Some of the security checkpoints are gone. There's no more giant security presence, but some of these cement barriers, it's going to be a minute before they're out of the way.
Because you need some machinery to remove those and put them wherever they need to go. Right?
So you will ultimately be able to go where you need to go in downtown unless you're right around Fiserv Forum or the Baird Center. A lot of that is still locked down and blocked off, but you might have to drive around a little bit. That was certainly my experience this morning. I went through where we've been going through just over the river on Michigan, and so the security was gone, but all these barriers were still there. Get fence guy breaking that down, loading up trucks. So they're trying to get out of the way. In fact, that may be open now. So it's just going to be fluid for a little bit while they remove some of the physical barriers that have been put up throughout the area. But that stuff is on the move. We understand that there will be parking restrictions in place probably through the weekend in Milwaukee. So keep that in mind. But we're slowly getting our city back in the downtown area.
We'll get there.
Next. You may have noticed it could be impacting you, could be impacting your company, your work. Microsoft users reporting widespread outages this morning. It's affecting the entire planet. IT outages overseas, London Stock Exchange, airports in the UK, Germany, across America. Milwaukee Mitchell International posted this morning, 3:58 a.m. There is currently a worldwide ground stop affecting some of the airlines serving MKE. Anyone flying today should check their flight status before leaving for the airport. If your flight is delayed or canceled, you should not come to the airport. Instead, keep in touch with the airline for more information.
And you're talking multiple airports, not just in the country or in Milwaukee, but across the world. And in some cases, they've been trying to do manual check-ins, and that's not a good sign. If you're doing manual check-ins and you have this many people flying across the world and you're going to have delays now, I mean, this is going to cause a snarl, you'd guess, in the air grid.
Well, we've seen actual evidence of that is Sydney Orr reported from TMJ4 News. She is at the airport this morning saying there are lines of people going out the door, which is not what you want to see when you roll up in your Uber.
The timing is not good for this. You're talking about not only all the RNC delegates and all of those visitors, but also all the security. Remember all the security we had from across the country? Yes, all of them also. So who knows? Maybe they're going to end up staying a bit. I don't know, but holy cow.
Could be good for some of those bars and restaurants. Getting a little trickle-down effect. Tens of thousands trying to get out of here following the convention. And I can report Erik Big Plans Bilstad followed through, pulled the all-nighter.
Yep. I made it
to the thing. Highlights and reaction to former President Donald Trump's lengthy speech coming up. Sports is next, 6:14 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic. Now in for over a full year of care with Dr. Alex Young and his team. My neck, my back, my shoulder feeling so much better. Now I'm going once every other week to make sure things stay that way. And it's so easy to manage my appointments at Connect Chiro. I've never worked with a medical provider who makes it so simple for you. Everything is done right there on the app that you install on your phone. You can change days, change times. If you're running late for your appointment, you fix it right there. You don't have to call and bother anyone. It's just so easy and convenient. Add that to the list of reasons I'm sticking with Connect Chiropractic, and I would love to see you there. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. These docs use a special tool to make all the adjustments. It's focused on restoring proper nerve and muscle function. No worries, even for children as young as infants. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, it's Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Brewers open the second half of the season, not mathematically, but post-All-Star break on the road. 30 teams in Major League Baseball. 28 of them play today. 2 of them get an extra day off, not playing until tomorrow, and those would be the Minnesota Twins and your Milwaukee Brewers.
So it works out fine, and I'm going to enjoy the extra day off.
Oh, sure.
Brewers play-by-play man Jeff Levering, to Eric's approval, not apologizing for that extra day.
Okay.
So Level joined us Wednesday on Brewers 360. Just a quirk in the schedule, really, for the crew, who is set up well with off days in the second half.
Brewers played a ton of games the first half, the quote-unquote first half of the season, so they're going to have a lot more off days in the second half and a ton more home games, too, because no team in Major League Baseball played more road games than the Brewers.
6:10 will be the first pitch tomorrow for the Brewers in Minneapolis. So I want to get to this breaking news because Harold Hester from Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, the spokesperson for the airport, is taking some questions right now and updating the situation on this global IT outage that has ground to stop across the planet for several major airlines.
Well, we've been prepared. We've been preparing for the last year plus for large crowds coming through the airport because this is the busiest departure day probably of the whole year at this airport. But so there's plenty of staff on hand, and that's helping to work through some of this. But until those systems, the airline systems, are brought back online, there's going to be delays.
Are any of the delays
United flights? I mean, are United, Delta, American all still grounded? Are some getting off the ground at this point?
You would need to contact each of those airlines to find out what their specific situation is.
Delta said that their system might not be updating to let people know that their flight is not on time. Is this all accurate?
So the information that's shown on our displays is only as accurate as what the airlines feed into it. So if their system is not working correctly, it may not reflect properly here on the airport displays.
Even when things get up and running, can there sometimes be a ripple effect if MKE is waiting for aircraft from other airports? Is this something that can sometimes continue even when operations get back up and running?
Yeah, so this is an issue that's affecting all airports around the world. It's not even just in the U.S. So this is not specific to Milwaukee, but certainly when flights are delayed or canceled, it takes a while for any of the airlines to recover from that.
Can you tell us?
That's Harold Mester, spokesperson for Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, updating the situation right now that, as he indicated, is not unique to Milwaukee. This is happening all over the world. A major IT outage has several major airlines in a full ground stop across the world.
And what makes it unique for us, though, in Milwaukee is the fact that the RNC wrapped up on Thursday night. So you have all of these delegates, you have all of these security personnel, all of them at the airport right now trying to get out.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving may be the only other day that this would be worse. Right? Oh. A lot of folks trying to get out of town. 6:19 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Nothing says summer like a hot dog in baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad. I know there's no global network outage at my house with my garage doors. They're working just fine this morning.
Really, that's a brilliant tie-in there. No IT outage for J.D. Griffiths?
No, they're doing good. My doors from J.D. Griffiths, we got them installed last year, and so pleased with the look and the feel of the house with them. Even when you're inside the garage, we have windows. We had customized, so we have some windows on our garage doors. So just you can actually work in there, and you're getting this daylight in there. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for more than 70 years. Detached garage builders as well, and providers of premier garage doors. Here's what you can do. J.D. Griffiths has an exclusive offer for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you save $100 on your garage door opener. Here's the number to call, 414-362-7222. And you mentioned me, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad, or go to the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Get your free estimate scheduled from jdgriffiths.com.
Summer vibes are here, and your Wisconsin State Fair ticket gives you access to incredible live entertainment. Don't miss a second of the free shows at the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater, with headlining acts like Gaelic Storm, Mackenzie Porter, and for 2 nights, Here Come the Mummies. Snag your discounted tickets and plan your day at wistatefair.com. You'll be feeling good at the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular August 1st through the 11th. wistatefair.com.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
6:21 on Wisconsin's Morning News. What's the traffic such on the ground, Debbie?
It's looking pretty good right now. We've got full freeway speeds around the area. Volume's just starting to wake up a little bit. We're not seeing any delays, and there are no incidents around the area either that we're going to have to worry about. Just remember, downtown, there's still some concrete barriers here and there that they are in the process of picking up. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Beautiful forecast into the weekend. Sunshine, few clouds moving in this afternoon and a high of 79 degrees. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 64. Saturday looks pretty good, partly cloudy, high 82. Sunday, partly cloudy, a little bit more on the humid side, and a slight chance of some rain showers in the afternoon, high of 79. And getting into next week, high temperatures of 80 degrees both Monday and Tuesday. Right now, 62 in Milwaukee.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title.
Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan among those lighting up the final night of the Republican.
I thought we were going to talk about the Republican National Convention.
Oh, we are. Yeah, this was delegates were dancing to this. So it was a celebration, the final night of the RNC at Fiserv Forum. Now, obviously, this was the big night where the former president was going to accept the nomination from the party. Hours before the speech, so the floor hot. It was busy. Greg Matzik and I were both there. We were helping with the broadcast on Thursday evening, so you could see it early on. In fact, I love this. So Greg, he compared it to like if it were a Bucks game.
There is much more foot traffic on the floor right now.
But we do see in the upper levels where we are, I mean, they're starting to fill in. We got a little ways yet, and it's starting to trickle in.
Yeah, this would be about 40 minutes from tip-off at a Bucks game. That's kind of what I'm seeing in the upper level.
Yeah, so that's where we were at. So there were 2 state delegations, and you could tell the identity of what states they were from just by looking, even if there weren't any stanchions. One of them was Texas.
Yeah, because they were wearing the hats.
All the
right?
hats, and they waved them back and forth the whole entire time.
And all week.
And then the other, of course, was us with the cheese heads. So they brought out the foam cheese heads for the Wisconsin folks, so they stuck out.
Mercure and Julia are taking credit for that. Wisconsin's Afternoon News, that it was their idea.
They claim that was them. As for the speech,
with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
So the president started talking unity, very soft-spoken, actually, to start his speech. He wants to be a president for everyone, he said. He went into detail about the shooting that left his ear injured. It was bandaged again on Thursday night. He wasn't going to mention President Biden's name, but he did twice during the speech. Just he had to get to it. And he said, "I'm sorry, I have to say his name at least once." He also went into greater detail on that assassination attempt.
If the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God.
And there were pictures from that day that were shown behind him as he was speaking on the matter, going through what happened, as he felt it, as he realized he was bleeding. This delegate spoke with WTMJ's Jessica Ty.
I think it was very difficult for him to relive it, and he said it was going to be the only time he talks about it. So that was very poignant.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if that's the case. He's like, I don't think I want to talk about this anymore, just this one time. So we'll see if it comes up again. I'd be shocked if he didn't discuss the assassination attempt again, but
I would characterize that opening part as a story.
Yeah.
He came up and he said, basically, I'm going to tell you a story of what happened to me. And it was very much that what didn't feel like a speech.
No.
It felt like a guy up there telling a story about what happened to him.
It was a good story. You know, it was compelling to listen to. Then the rest of the speech was pretty much a campaign speech. Oftentimes you'd say it wasn't necessarily to the entire country. It was to his base. He did mention Wisconsin a couple of times. He made this joke.
And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
Said that as a joke. The crowd laughed when he made those comments. So yes, then was the giant balloon drop, which was pretty amazing. There was, it was interesting. It had a little bit of everything.
Here on the floor of Fiserv Forum, I can seize the cheeseheads waving from the Wisconsin delegation, red, white, and blue balloons at their feet. An address that lasted an hour and a half. The former president in a red tie and dark blue suit. One Wisconsin delegate telling me a couple of minutes ago it was a long speech, but it was a speech full of things that needed to be said. Fiserv Forum, the floor and the bowl, absolutely rocking right now.
That was WTMJ's John Mercure.
News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average took a tumble, giving back some of the gains from earlier this week. Now at 40,665, down more than 500 points. The NASDAQ off about 126 points to 17,871, and the S&P 500 closed at 55.45 on Thursday, down about 44 points. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com.
Michael Quizon is the IT systems administrator at Great Midwest Bank. Before switching to document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, they had a printer problem.
We talked to James Imaging. We said, we need to take down the number of printers that we have. What can we do?
The experts at James Imaging Systems researched your printing process, overall workflow, costs, supplies.
So we went from probably 120, 130 printers down to 50 some odd printers.
And
our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
Michael, the benefit as the bank's IT systems administrator?
I don't have to deal with printers. One less thing on my plate.
Anything to add about your experience?
In terms of James Imaging, they've been a great partner.
Switch to document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
6:30. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News, Friday, July 19th. Our top story, lines out the door at Milwaukee Mitchell.
I'm Erik Bilstad, moving forward after a historic week.
I'm Debbie Laziga. We're already starting to see some delays westbound on 94 from about 35th Street through the Stadium interchange. Otherwise, everything else is rolling along at a good speed. Just watch that building volume. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Some clouds this afternoon and a high of 79 degrees.
This is a special report from ABC News Global IT Outage. I'm Sherry Preston. Airline flights, banks, hospital systems, and media outlets all taken offline overnight. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says the issue is not a cyber attack. Instead, says ABC's Mike Dubusky,
it's tied to a software update that cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike sent out to Windows computers overnight. The faulty update appears to send computers and servers into a recovery boot loop, essentially starting the computer up over and over again, but never logging in. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz posted on social media that this is not a security incident or a cyber attack, and that a fix has been deployed. He also says Mac and Linux computers are unaffected. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Some elective surgeries at hospitals are being canceled. Britain's National Health Service also affected. Some airlines slowly coming back online, but passengers should expect cancellations and delays all day. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, that global IT outage impacting airports and businesses around the world, causing lengthy lines at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport on Getaway Day for thousands of folks who were here for the Republican National Convention. Airport Communications Director Harold Mester says there's no update on when things could be resolved.
Yeah, so this is an issue that's affecting all airports around the world. It's not even just in the U.S. So this is not specific to Milwaukee, but certainly when flights are delayed or canceled, it takes a while for any of the airlines to recover from that.
And Mester's saying really the airport doesn't have much information for you. If your flight is delayed or canceled, they want you to not come to the airport. Keep in touch with your airline directly for more information.
After a performance from Kid Rock playing at the Donald Trump RNC GOP presidential nominee acceptance speech, the president then spoke.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
On stage was that of a retired fire chief who was from Pennsylvania, shot and killed during the assassination attempt on Saturday. The man who was killed there, his hat and coat sat on the stage. Trump recalling what happened that moment.
When I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear, I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet.
The speech lasted 90 minutes.
Is the former president a changed man after the attempt on his life? Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, talking with WTMJ.
I think you're going to see a different Donald Trump. You know, in the tragic situation where poor Corey lost his life and others were injured, even in terrible situations like that, sometimes positive things come out of it. I think you're going to see even a better improved Donald Trump as a person.
All our coverage from the convention is up online at WTMJ.com.
The former president and his new running mate will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Saturday. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be in Milwaukee next week, amid a growing number of top Democrats now publicly calling for President Biden to withdraw from the presidential race. The VP in Milwaukee Tuesday. No word yet on a location or a time.
Milwaukee Police Association has withdrawn a lawsuit filed against a policy about body camera video. The policy requires MPD critical incident video to be released publicly within 15 days and allows for the family of those killed by police to access that video in private within 48 hours. Chief of Police Jeffrey Norman said he supports the policy. Activists like the Milwaukee Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression say it's a win for transparency and accountability.
Coming up, from Twister to Twisters.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top-quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
What's great about America? Football, free refills, and pizza with cheese baked into the crust. You know what else is great about America? Being who we want to be, living where we want to live, and choosing who we want to do business with. That, my friend, is sweet, sweet freedom. So, Mr. Holland's Home Services is celebrating the month of the free with a deal that you can only get in the good old USA. Through July, purchase a fully warranted, complete comfort system, and Mr. Holland's crew will install a brand new water heater at no extra cost. In other words, it's free. And speaking of free, Mr. Holland's Home Services is offering interest-free financing with approved credit. Declare your independence from oppressive heat and frigid showers. Call today to secure your free water heater with the purchase of a new comfort system. 866-992-1717. Or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're ready to party like it's 1776, we can help.
It's a Fish Fry Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. One of my favorite fish fries is at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. And the Mine Shaft has just lowered the price of their all-you-can-eat fish fry to, listen closely, $6.99. Seriously, $6.99. You don't need to pay $16 or more. Your Mine Shaft fish fry is $6.99. It's all you can eat. It's the best Friday fish fry value anywhere, and it's delicious. For smaller appetites, that two-piece dine-in fish fry is just $4.99. What a value. Relax with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, an ice-cold brew, or a glass of wine. It's a perfect fish fry. A kid's menu that starts at $3.99, that's pretty perfect, too. And those kids will love the world-class game room quietly tucked away from the dining area. They play safe. You enjoy the rest of your meal. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. I love the Hartford location. Walk in today for your all-you-can-eat fish fry for $6.99. And desserts or buy one, get one free. It's the Mine Shaft.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:37.
Could Packers quarterback Jordan Love hold out from training camp until he gets a new deal? Why this former Packer says that's not likely. That's in sports at 6:45.
It's terrible. People spend thousands of dollars to go on vacation or go home or go visit family, and this is the situation that we get put through between these airline companies that make millions of dollars. Pretty crazy.
Frustrated passengers right now all across the country and the world. Banks, airlines, TV stations, health systems in areas not just in the U.S. that rely on Microsoft. Right now, widespread outages taking place, and it's grounded many airlines. So the lines are very long at the airport here in Milwaukee as well. We'll continue to monitor that situation. New in theaters this weekend, A stormy sequel.
The storm-chasing summer blockbuster Twisters floods into theaters this weekend.
You think you can disrupt a tornado?
In theory. A sequel to the 1996 original, which is about an all-new group of scientists and adrenaline junkies. Glenn Powell stars alongside Daisy Edgar Jones and Anthony Ramos. And Powell says all of the extras on the film were actual, real-life storm chasers.
The first thing that I noticed was sheer giddy, childlike excitement. The way they look at the sky and the way they look at weather is just, it's so infectious.
Twisters opens this weekend, and it's expected to top the box office. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
So this comes 30 years after the first one.
So no Helen Hunt then?
I mean, well, if it's a sequel, I mean...
What is it, their grandchildren?
Yeah.
They're storm chasing.
It has to be, right? There has to be, like, this is son of the couple, or I don't know. It's got to be a relation.
Are we to understand that the plot of this one is we're going to actually, like, alter tornadoes?
And be able to control
It's a little
them.
over the top, don't you think? I mean, the last one was we just want to put...
So that's what did it for you? That's what put it over the
yes,
top?
because the other one was entirely accurate. 6:39 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
For all the things you need a Runnings bucket for, here's one more. The annual bucket sale gives you 15% off everything you can fit inside, even sale-priced items. Remember, the bucket is free with a $5 purchase. The bucket sale is happening at all running stores Friday and Saturday, July 19th and 20th. Shop in-store and fill your bucket with items including clothing, pet supplies, sporting goods, lawn and garden tools, and more. Some exclusions apply. The bucket sale at Runnings, now with 80 locations. Go to runnings.com to find the store in your community.
How do you know it's time to get your parking lot redone? Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. They'd love to answer that question for you in person when you get a no-obligation quote on your commercial or residential project. Here are a few starters, though. Faded asphalt color, crumbling edges, standing water, sinking pavement. Now, some of these should probably go without saying. Widening cracks, warping, or buckling. Point is, if you see signs of damage and fatigue, it's probably even more serious than you think, and it's time to get the experts out there to tell you how to fix it. It's not going to get better on its own. It will get worse. Trust this. A local family-owned company to give you an honest assessment and do the great work. No obligation. Just give them a call. Tell them Vinny sent you. They'd love to hear that. And get your questions answered. Plenty of Johnsons over there. No subcontractors. It's johnsonsonspaving.com.
We all love Saturdays, but are they really all that rewarding? I mean, do you really feel rewarded after mowing the lawn or doing all your I gotta do this because today's the weekend whatevers? Well, Potawatomi wants your Saturdays to be the most rewarding ever with a share of $400,000 in cash and prizes. Just play this July for prize drawing entries. Win on Saturdays. Plus, each Potawatomi rewards level gets their own drawing. Rewarding Saturdays at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. For more details, visit paysbig.com/rewarding. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Sendik's limited time hatch pepper event is back. Order your fresh or roasted hatch peppers now at sendix.com/hatch.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendik's Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. What is happening on the roads, Deb?
Well, westbound 94 is starting to slow down a bit more. We're seeing backups from about 20th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Westbound 894 is starting to slow down from about 60th out towards Forest Home. Rest of the system actually still looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny skies will be around for you this morning. Just a couple afternoon clouds mixing in with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Look for a light breeze out of the southwest, switching to the southeast. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperatures in the 60s. Saturday, partly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the lower 80s. On Sunday, we'll look for the small chance for an afternoon shower or storm as our humidity increases a bit with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Monday, near 80, partly cloudy skies, still a small chance for a shower or storm. On Tuesday, we'll look for some higher rain chances to roll in with high temperatures staying near 80. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee temp at 62 degrees. .42 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Keeping an eye on the situation at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. There's a global IT outage affecting not just airlines, but perhaps most significantly airlines across the planet with a global ground stop for several of the major carriers.
And it wasn't a cyber attack. Sounds like it was just a glitch. They have a fix that they're working on.
It was just Richard in some IT office who
uploading
clicked the
wrong
update. Thanks, Richard.
And because of that, you have lines out the door at Milwaukee Mitchell because, as everyone knows, today would be a busy travel day at our airport.
So we focused, and I think rightly so, on some of the local businesses for whom not only did this RNC week not boost their business, but it actually hurt them.
Yeah.
That's a reality, and I think it was an important story to tell this week. But a couple of points I want to make on that now that we have gavelled out of the convention. First, because they didn't have a good week doesn't mean having brought 50,000 visitors to Milwaukee might not ultimately help them down the road. We've been promised a post-convention bump, perhaps more big events, perhaps more visitors down the road. Secondly, some businesses did do quite well this week. Bars and restaurants and venues that hosted events, they did great. Hotels booked, they did great. Think about the Uber and Lyft drivers and all those folks. Suppliers, all the folks working this morning still, rental trucks full of fencing. So we had construction workers still out there right now in downtown breaking down these barriers.
Shuttle bus drivers.
Right, yes. Another group that did quite well, folks who do audio, video, set design. Did you see all these sets from the local television stations? Okay. Multiply that across all the networks and everybody who was here. Somebody had to build that stuff out. Some are members of IBEW, that's International Brotherhood of Electronic Workers. Others, like this guy Dan here, IATSE, International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's good work for everyone. I mean, there's a lot of guys who have been getting steady work for months now because of this, so it's good for everyone.
Yeah, doing exactly what?
Tearing out Pfizer, converting it to what you see in there and putting in all this stuff in here. And, all over the city there's been events related to this.
Hey, Eric and I, we were talking with him. He was working on the outdoor setup for CNN. So they were the parking lot next to Turner Hall, like just north of Turner Hall, right next to Mater's there on 4th Street, right across from Deer District. So Dan and his crew.
CNN Grill, right?
Yeah, right? And Dan and his crew, they set up the platforms, the tents, they run the cable, they do the lights and the sound, all that stuff, turning the parking lot into a television set. So they had a pretty good week. Also, he said it was kind of a little bit of a cool factor. Who have you seen?
Oh, everyone. Mayor, Milwaukee.
Okay, we're going to have to go a little bit more famous than that.
More famous than that. Steve Scalise, Brian Kemp, Asa Hutchinson. Who else? Sarah Huckabee Sanders was here yesterday.
I saw her. She was right out here. I mean, no offense to the mayor, but
Right, yeah. It's a little bit more higher profile, right?
Yes. Cops and firefighters, E. We were talking with some of Milwaukee's finest local firefighters on Thursday. They said they're on extra duty through Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So just a lot of overtime for those folks. And that's not coming from local taxpayers either. There's money built into convention budgets for law enforcement and protection. So it didn't want to give the impression that because the RNC was bust city for some businesses, that is universally the case, nor does it mean that I don't still fully support the decision to bring the event here. I thought we threw a great party. And with the IT outage sweeping the globe this morning and airline trouble, some folks may be staying longer than planned.
So stop by the local bar,
still a chance. 646 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Come visit, learn, and discover at the recently opened Food and Farm Exploration Center near Stevens Point in Plover, Wisconsin. The 50,000 square foot Science and Technology Center is a place to take the entire family. Experience over 60 interactive exhibits, a children's play area, and demonstration farm fields. Also enjoy the colorful Plate Cafe featuring a menu of locally sourced ingredients that are simple, fresh, and healthy. Great food comes from small kitchens. Just a short drive from Milwaukee. Plan your visit today at explorefoodandfarm.org.
Hey, we're getting a little bit of break from the heat and humidity. Great time to get your comfort, guys. Absolute Comfort HVAC and electrical out to make sure your air conditioner is going to last you through this summer. I've been talking about the air conditioner service even when your AC isn't broken, why it's a good idea to call Nicole and Brent. They're family-owned business. They're booking appointments still for your air conditioner tune-ups. This I got from We Energies. They put out one of these news releases with the money-saving tips for the cooling season, and one of them right there in black and white, schedule air conditioner maintenance. Yearly tune-ups keep air conditioners running safely and efficiently, saving money in the long run. Absolutely true. Absolute Comfort, HVAC, and electrical. Had them out in spring. They took care of my air conditioner. Not too late to get yours done either. It's all cleaned out, running at peak efficiency, saving money. Book that appointment now before your unit breaks down. It's Absolute Comfort, HVAC, and electrical. Tell them Vinny sent you. 262-664-9284. Your Comfort Guys. That's yourcomfortguys.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Veterans report to Packers training camp Sunday. First practice Monday at Ray Nitschke Field across from Lambeau. It is open to the public, but will fans see Jordan Love? He's signed through this year, but is negotiating, as we talked about, with the Packers on a long-term contract, which he doesn't yet have. Former Packers Brian Bulaga doesn't see Jordan Love holding out, though.
And it's not that he doesn't have the stones to do it. Like, that's certainly not what I'm saying. I just don't think right now in his career he's built that way to do that yet.
I mean, he came to all the OTAs, the mini camp, like all this stuff.
Yeah, he's been in Green Bay.
Yes, Bulaga joining ESPN Wisconsin's Willie Tausch this week. 10:30 a.m. is the start time for that first practice on Monday. Also the same day the Packers shareholders meeting at Lambeau Field.
So that'll be the big announcement to all the owners, right? Couldn't that be great?
Murphy out there. Now, I just wanted to let you know, we did a deal today that's going to make you very happy.
It's like he's in the room.
That was terrible. Sorry, Murph.
I got to sound like him at all.
I got to work on that one. To baseball, we made it through the All-Star break.
Whoa! That didn't take long at all.
I don't know. I felt like it took long.
We're not even through it yet.
Yes. Brewers, yeah, right. Brewers don't get back in action until tomorrow in Minnesota. They got a 2-game set with the Twins, then to Chicago to face the Cubs. We're not back in Milwaukee until the week from tonight with the Florida Marlins coming to town.
Good to have you back. I never left after last season. Thank you guys for unlocking the door.
Now keep it unlocked, Uke. We need you back 6:10 first pitch tomorrow night from Minneapolis right here on WTMJ.
Your daily appointment for all things Brewers. From every angle, this is Brewers 360.
Look, this does not put the ball in the hands of Giannis at the end of a game. In baseball, it's got to be up and down the lineup.
Every day at 7:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
This is the show right now, and the competition's pretty stiff.
Sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Holiday Automotive.
I love where your head is right there, so we can definitely come up with some fun ideas for sure.
Oh, be careful, Matt. Now, you just
you opened
up Pandora's box here.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here for Tri-County Contracting. You're looking for doing some work on your house? Why not go with the place that's been doing it for a long time, more than 40 years, right here in southeast Wisconsin? What I would call a unicorn, because it's locally owned and locally operated. There's less and less of those in these parts. Tri-County Contracting, looking to get new siding, something that you're a little intimidated to even look into? Well, Tri-County Contracting is the place to go. How about going to their showroom in New Berlin or just going to the website? They have all kinds of details and information on the site. Here it is, Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
At 6:51, let's bring in Debbie Lozick here for an update on the roads.
All right, seeing some bigger delays on westbound 94 starting from around 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. So give yourself a little extra time if you're heading that way. Eastbound still looking pretty good. Westbound 894 also slowing down from 35th Street all the way towards 68th. Through that construction zone. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
You said you would do the weather. I gave you the thing.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, sponsored by Dave Drake.
The man's a puddle this morning.
Your comfort is their family's tradition. All is well. Fine.
Now you're taking my...
Sunny with a few clouds. It's going to be a little bit warmer today, a high of 79. Tonight, clear, a low of 64. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 82. I deleted my forecast. Sunday, partly cloudy, a little bit more humid on Sunday with a chance for rain, a high of 79.
You deleted your brain this morning.
62 degrees at 6:52.
Wait, hang on.
You guys a little slap happy this morning.
We'll get to
huh?
that.
You guys leave the studio, and look, I understand doing a morning show. You're not let out of the studio very often. You guys have been let out of the studio. You were let out into the wild for 4 consecutive days.
Yeah,
and now you're back in here and you don't know what to do. A little slap happy, probably. I mean, a lot of long hours for you boys over here on TMJ.
I love that he's pulling you into this, too. That's great.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel joining us
solution.
in studio this morning. What had happened, Gabe, is Erik Big Plans Bilstad declared yesterday, I think I'm staying for the speech. I think I'm going to stay.
I want to cover it. Cover the speech.
You're not, as you've seen coming down here with the security thing and whatever, you're not leaving and coming back. Like, that ain't happening.
No.
So he just stayed down here. He slept here last night. And this is, but yes, great for him, but this is what I have to work with now this morning.
And then on top of that,
this is my co-pilot.
So not only do you have just, the after effects of this huge event that took place in Milwaukee, but then you have...
It's not fair. No, $100.70 has not cut
You have people screaming at airline employees at airports across the world because of this huge, major global outage that is affecting everyone.
Gate agent has to be one of the toughest jobs, right?
Because it's very rarely your fault.
It's, you know what?
Right?
I don't know if it's ever your fault.
Ever.
You're just the person there to take. I felt so bad for the gate agent one time, so I take a trip every year out to Vegas, playing a Wisconsin PGA Pro-Am out there, and we had a group of guys all in the same, all on the same flight. I think there were 5 or 6 of us, and one of the guys decided he was going to change his flight because he wasn't going to come back with us, was going to meet his wife or something in Arizona. And when he did that, he noticed that on the original flight, he was flying standby. He goes, well, that's kind of weird. So he quickly changed his flight, ended up getting one that got him a layover in Denver. Turns out, I won't name the airline, but you could probably figure it out in terms of direct flights from Milwaukee to Vegas. They sent a plane in that had 30 less seats than what they had sold and what they thought that they initially were going to have. So we're all sitting there, and they're like, hey, if you're flying standby, 0% chance you're getting on because we're kicking people off this flight. And by the way, you're not getting out to Vegas until Tuesday unless maybe you want to drive down to Midway. That's about the only way you could get out to Vegas. So everyone's flipping out. I'm like, this poor gate agent. Like the pilot was apologizing profusely to us once we get on it. And we were the ones that got on. We were the ones that were on. He was so embarrassed. Like this gate agent's now got to deal with 30, 35 people that were trying to get to Vegas. Now can't get there. This is a Sunday. Can't get there till a Tuesday. And it's not his fault. He's not the one who went, you know what we should do? Let's send in a smaller plane than what we sold. Like, he's not the one doing that. And this poor gate agent just, you could hear the fear in his voice when he got onto the little phone loudspeaker thing in the terminal. Like, you could hear the fear in his voice when he announced this because he realized at 5 in.the morning how crappy of a day he was about to have on a Sunday.
What do we know about what happened, E? This was not, and we want to make sure we're clear because your brain first races to cyber attack.
Yeah, this
right?
was
this
not a
case.
cyber attack. This was like a product update linked to an internet security firm, CrowdStrike. The issue causing the main 3 big U.S. airlines to have to halt operations.
So
United,
this is something
Delta,
someone
American.
did on purpose.
Yeah, just
hey,
doing an update.
Hey, listen, we're gonna run the new security software through. We're just gonna click the update. Some dude somewhere clicked.
Go ahead and hit update. Go ahead and reboot that computer.
And now it's just a blue screen.
Yeah, and it impacted Microsoft in some way, and it's affected everything. It's not just the airports, but you're talking about airports across the country. Australia, they have them grounded. Here in Milwaukee, on the worst possible day, the Milwaukee airport has got grounded airlines.
We have like 40,000 people trying to leave here right now.
All at the same time.
Plus anybody else who had vacation or whatever else, right?
Best of luck to you. And again, like, I don't know. I understand you're mad and you're frustrated, and there are times, but please just treat the gate agent with a little bit of he's got to deal with 40 other screaming people. Like, just be a person. It's not his fault. I understand you're frustrated. You want to yell at someone. That's not the guy to yell at.
Right. Belly up to the bar and enjoy your day.
Yeah. Like, just
there you go.
Or days.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
As the case may be. 6:57 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Waukesha YMCA is on the move.
The downtown branch in the city relocates to the Waukesha County Technical College campus after a $30 million fundraising campaign. The Iron Horse Hotel owner says it is on the verge of emerging from bankruptcy after years of legal battles. Paperwork was filed earlier this month and is expected to be approved by the court on August 12th. Milwaukee Area Technical College is exploring the lease of a new shared-use athletic training facility that would be co-developed and co-owned by the Bucks and real estate developer J. Jefferson Company. Construction could begin as early as spring 2025. I'm Drew Dawson with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything for your next painting project. Dutch Boy's DuraClean is an exterior paint and primer in one that's available in thousands of color options. It's formulated to resist dirt, mildew, and fading. Save big on Dutch Boy exterior paint when you shop at Menards, America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Guthrie and Fry protects the water in my house. Guthrie and Fry has provided expert advice, quality service, and reliable water since 1974. Owners Sue and Rob are well known and very generous in the local community for supporting great causes that change lives. We've got their water softener. We've got their reverse osmosis system. Our water is crisp, clean, and clear. GFwater.com. It's Guthrie and Fry.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Ridgelawns.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit fredert.com/cancer.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
7 o'clock. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Friday, July 19th. Our top story, a ground stop impacting getaway day at Milwaukee Mitchell.
I'm Erik Bilstad. The GOP candidate for president details his assassination attempt.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Westbound on 94, slowing down from about 16th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's clear. And westbound 894, also going to be heavy from 27th Street to about 68th. They are picking up the concrete barriers around the security perimeter of downtown. Still might be a little difficult to get in, but keep in mind they are working on it. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Looks like a pretty nice day. A few clouds moving in this afternoon. Otherwise sunny, a bit warmer. High of 79 degrees today and mostly clear skies tonight with a low down to 64. Right now, Milwaukee at 62 degrees. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, thousands of Republican National Convention delegates, security personnel, other guests seeing major delays at Milwaukee Mitchell International while the airport tries to get through this global IT outage. This is actually affecting flights around the world. TMJ4's Sydney Orr is at Mitchell, where efforts continue to get people on planes.
We were told just a little bit ago that they have put some alternative measures in place to continue processing folks here at the airport. The happiest people we've seen all morning are those flying with Southwest. No issues there, but if you're flying with American, Delta, United, all of those have been issued ground stops here this morning because of those communication issues.
Communications Director at the airport, Harold Mesters, says they're doing the best they can to handle things.
We've been preparing for the last year plus for large crowds coming through the airport because this is the busiest departure day probably of the whole year at this airport. So there's plenty of staff on hand, and that's helping to work through some of this. But until those systems, the airline systems, are brought back online, there's going to be delays.
And the airport's saying there's not really much that they can do. So if your flight is delayed or canceled, they're advising you not to come to the airport. Instead, keep in touch with your specific airline.
History in Milwaukee.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
During his speech on the final night of the RNC at Fiserv Forum, Donald Trump recounting what happened, the attempt on his life last weekend.
It was Donald Trump's first speech since the assassination attempt on Saturday, and he told the crowd here at Fiserv Forum he'd never tell the story again.
When I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear, I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet.
Not only a historic moment made in Milwaukee, but a memorable one, too. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
WTMJ's John Mercure was on the floor.
Here on the floor of Fiserv Forum, I can seize the cheeseheads waving from the Wisconsin delegation, red, white, and blue balloons at their feet. An address that lasted an hour and a half. The former president in a red tie and dark blue suit. One Wisconsin delegate telling me it was a long speech, but it was a speech full of things that needed to be said. Fiserv Forum, the floor in the bowl, absolutely rocking. Inside Fiserv Forum, John Mercure, WTMJ News.
President Biden, meanwhile, is off the campaign trial after his COVID diagnosis, and Vice President Kamala Harris will now visit Milwaukee days after the RNC's conclusion, and this comes as there's a growing number of top Democrats now publicly calling for President Biden to withdraw from the presidential race. Now, the VP will be in Milwaukee Tuesday. No word yet on a location or a time.
Several people recovering after an apparent drone exploded in Tel Aviv. The incident near a branch office for the U.S. Embassy in Israel.
A blast heard near the U.S. Embassy branch office near Tel Aviv. Israeli emergency services saying at least 10 people were injured, 1 killed. Israeli fire and rescue officials are investigating a possible drone explosion. A State Department spokesperson telling ABC News there was no damage to the U.S. Embassy branch office building, and there have been no reports of injuries to embassy staff. Inez de la Cuetera, ABC News. At the Foreign Desk.
Coming up, prices rising for another streaming service. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:05.
This report is sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. SidingUnlimited.com.
Your home's defense is crucial. Defensive failure is offensive to you. Siding Unlimited is your home's best defensive coach. Windows, roofing, decks, and of course, siding. Siding Unlimited is it. Windows? Siding Unlimited handles several great brands. They are one of only 5 Pella Platinum Premium installers in the whole country. The only one around here. Doors and decks, roofing, siding. Yes, 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 and yes. Nobody can beat Siding Unlimited. When you deal with Siding Unlimited, you'll get honest pricing, guaranteed. What is that? Well, no gimmicks, none of that BOGO, buy one now, get blah, 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 chin boogie. This is what it will cost you, period. Honest pricing. Bolster your home's defense with the best defensive team ever. SidingUnlimited.com.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
Former Green Bay Packer thinks Jordan Love and the Packers are far apart on a new deal. What happened this week that tipped him off? We got that in sports at 7:15.
The Milwaukee Police Association is withdrawing a lawsuit filed against a policy about body cam footage. The policy requires MPD critical incident footage to be released publicly within 15 days and allows for the family of those killed by police to access the footage in private within 48 hours. Now, Police Chief Jeffrey Norman has said he supports the policy. Activists like the Milwaukee Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression say it's a win for transparency and accountability.
A school bus crash in Racine County injured 11 people, including 10 children. This was Thursday afternoon, intersection of Sunnyside Drive and Church Road in the town of Dover. It was a school bus and a minivan that collided. 46 children and 5 adults were on the bus on the way to a summer camp roller skating event.
Heads up, Netflix users. There are again changes afoot.
If you want to watch your favorite shows on Netflix without interruptions,
apologize to me right now.
Can't take my mom anywhere.
You may have to pay more. The streamer is phasing out its lowest priced $11.99 a month ad-free option in hopes of driving more viewers to its cheaper ad-supported plan. Netflix had already quit offering basic ad-free subscriptions to new customers a year ago, but anyone who'd already been on the plan had been allowed to remain if they didn't cancel or change plans. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
I thought of this. Virtually no one does this, but it's been suggested that if you want to save money on the streaming and stuff like that, get to the end of Netflix and then cancel. Don't carry all of these things all the time. The Disney, the Netflix, the Max, all the stuff. Right. And then you're like, which one do we watch this on? Which one do we want? Well, right. Wait till you finished Netflix. Hard to do, though, right?
Get into the entire...
Because then you're in here you need to be watching this. I'm like, what's that on? I don't have that.
You got to get it back then. You got to get Disney Plus again.
7:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape. And they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch. We're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
How about a second opinion? Pre-op or post-op? Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin just sent one of my good friends to my guy at OAW. So he had a knee replaced with another doc, and he's been struggling with his recovery. He's been wondering every day, is the surgery okay? Is something wrong? He's been worried. He's not been getting better fast enough. I told him, should have gone to my guy in the first place, but that ship has sailed. So let's get you in there now, have him check you out. He'll give you an honest assessment of what you're dealing with. So my friend goes to my doc at OAW. Doc tells him, actually, the surgery looks good. Spent a lot of time looking at the imaging, checking him out as a patient. Says surgery looks good. Gave him a few other exercises to do. Told him to stay the course. You know how much better my buddy feels now that he knows he has that peace of mind? And you know what? He said his next knee surgery, that one's up next, he's going to go with OAW. How about a second opinion before or after your surgery? These docs are here for you, and you can trust them. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Sendik's limited time Hatch Pepper event is back. Order your fresh or roasted Hatch peppers now at sendix.com/hatch.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. What's happening, Deb?
Well, we still got delays westbound 94 from, I would say, about 35th Street through to Mitchell Boulevard. Something to keep in mind. We got westbound 894 as well, slowing down from 35th Street to about 68th. Everything's looking good in Waukesha County. North and southbound 43 and 41 both are pretty quiet so far. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast looking good on this Friday. We'll see mostly sunny skies this morning, just a couple afternoon clouds with high temperatures in the upper 70s. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Temperatures fall down into the 60s. On Saturday, another comfortable day, partly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the lower 80s. Some small rain chances return to the forecast on Sunday as we increase our humidity a bit. High temperatures in the upper 70s. Monday, near 80 with partly cloudy skies. Once again, that small chance for a shower or storm. Higher rain chances on Tuesday with high temperatures right near 80. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee temp at 64 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik, Bilstad, and Vince Vitrano.
Downtown Milwaukee slowly coming back into the hands of those of us who live and work here. But there's still a lot of infrastructure left up. That's the story this morning. Some of the barricades have come down already. The security checkpoints are no longer manned for the most part. So you can walk around, but it's still hard to drive around parts of downtown because it's going to take a minute to get these concrete barriers out of here.
And they are everywhere. And some areas have multiple barriers stacked up against each other just for security purposes.
Seen semis with flatbed trailers taking those concrete barriers out of downtown, but many of them still remain, specifically here, 3rd and Wisconsin, where our studios and offices are, which was one of the pedestrian checkpoints as you're right up along the Baird Center. That is all still there. So it's going to take a while. Folks we talked to who were part of the security situation, we talked to some local firefighters. They said, we're kind of on full staff through Saturday because we expect there's still to be a lot of activity. And there's still stuff happening at Fiserv Forum this morning. Many of the networks are still anchoring their news coverage from downtown Milwaukee this morning. The bigger story is at the airport. Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport, it's not their fault, and they're certainly not alone. Major airports across the country, the UK, Germany, dealing with a global ground stop for several major airlines.
And because of that, you have long lines everywhere, from airlines to supermarkets.
It's tied to a software update that cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike sent out to Windows computers overnight. The faulty update appears to send computers and servers into a recovery boot loop, essentially starting the computer up over and over again, but never logging in. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz posted on social media that this is not a security incident or a cyber attack, and that a fix has been deployed. He also says Mac and Linux computers are unaffected. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
What makes this really unfortunate is that it's happening today on what was anticipated to be one of, if not the busiest day of the year at Milwaukee Mitchell.
Maybe like of all time.
Yeah.
When have we had this many people all trying to get out of town at the same time?
The line was out the door earlier this morning. Hopefully they've been able to kind of catch up a little bit now and get in front of it. But there were a lot of delegates, a lot of people visiting, a lot of security personnel who are looking to get out of Dodge and stuck in Milwaukee right now.
Producer Greg Pancake Hill said he took a call from someone listening saying that he was stuck at a which one was it, Greg? A Speedway?
Yeah.
It was actually a few speedways. So they went to one and then said the computers were down, so they couldn't process debit cards. Went to a different speedway, still down, couldn't process debit cards. So the problems are continuing.
Got to get that cash money if you want to do business, I guess. 7:16 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Sports coming up next. It's sponsored by Holiday Automotive at Highway 23 in Fond du Lac. Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, go where summer leads you and drive inspired year-round in the new Mazda or Mazda-certified pre-owned model that's right for you. Connect with Holiday for their low, simplified price, more for your trade, then stack that savings with the season's best offers to lower bottom line in payment. Score generous customer cash on many, or well-qualified buyers can lock in finance rates as low as 0% on favorites, like the invigorating Mazda 3 hatchback, Mazda CX-5 or CX-30, the rugged and refined Mazda CX-50, or the roomy and responsive 3-row Mazda CX-90. Which Mazda's right for you? Treat yourself to a test drive and find out. Team Holiday's fun, simple, and pressure-free buying approach and genuine guest care makes fans of drivers from all over Wisconsin. I'm one of those fans and confident you will be too. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and online at holidaymazda.com. Holiday Mazda. It's worth the trip.
Join an unforgettable weekend of summer fun when the Brewers play the Marlins July 26th through the 28th. Be here for Yacht Rock Night on Friday and a Hawaiian shirt giveaway Saturday. Get your seats at brewers.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Brewers open the second half of the season. Yes, I know, not mathematically, but it's what we call it after the All-Star break. Don't text me. Technically they have. There are 30 teams in all of Major League Baseball. 28 of them play today. 2 of them get an extra day off, not playing until tomorrow, and those would be the Minnesota Twins and your Milwaukee Brewers.
So it works out fine, and I'm going to enjoy the extra day off.
Oh, sure.
Brewers play-by-play man Jeff Levering, to Eric's approval.
Yeah, he's going to enjoy the day.
Not apologizing for that extra day. Level joined us Wednesday on Brewers 360. Just a quirk in the schedule, he says, for the crew. We're set up pretty well here with off days in the second half.
The Brewers played a ton of games in the first half, the quote-unquote first half of the season. So they're going to have a lot more off days in the second half and a ton more home games, too, because no team in Major League Baseball played more road games than the Brewers.
6:10 first pitch tomorrow for the Brewers in Minneapolis. The Green Bay Packers' first training camp practice is Monday morning. Quarterback Jordan Love still looking for that long-term contract he signed through the end of the season. Earlier this week, he was at a youth camp, politely but abruptly shut down a question and answer session with reporters when they asked him about his contract negotiations. I guess he had said, I'm not talking about that. So,
come on, guys.
And if you ask me about it, I'm going to, well, good for them. They asked him, and he said, good for him. All right, I'm not talking about that.
End of
news conference. Former Packers lineman Brian Balaga thinks that is an indication that the two sides are still far apart, because if a deal were imminent,
he's going, hey, we're close. We feel like we're on the right track with this thing. It just, a couple, hopefully before camp or during camp that we'll close that gap and we'll get this thing done. It was very dismissive. Like, no, don't even want to hear about it. Don't want to hear. No. And he walks out.
Balaga on ESPN Wisconsin's Wilde and Tausch also said he does expect Love to report to camp this weekend and practice with the team, not hold out.
Because Tausch told us, Tausch thought it was guaranteed money was probably the issue. But Tausch also said that, look, practice, you're not getting hurt.
Not at this stage, right? You're not full bore. Yeah. You're not full pads. He's got the red jersey, right? And the little napkin they're wearing on the head now, or whatever else,
the
right?
Head protector.
Yeah, the quarterback's not getting sacked during practice, particularly early in the thing. I'm not concerned about it. Like, are you concerned? I'm like, it's going to get done.
If Monday starts and it still hasn't happened, then maybe it's worth asking when you're at your shareholders meeting.
I'm not going this year. I told you. I'm going to EAA on Monday, I think. 7:20 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. At Creative Planning, we offer full-service, comprehensive wealth management services through our in-house team of wealth managers, accountants, and attorneys to integrate all aspects of your financial life. Get all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house. Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
Drove by the other day. It appeared a guy is out there painting his own house. Reminded me of my dad. I told you that story. He painted our house. I remember he was up on the ladder all summer. Vince Vitrano for 2-day painting. Certainly respect it, but for a job like that or painting jobs inside and out, you want 2-day painting. Don't burn a weekend, weeks, or a whole summer doing it yourself. And don't go with one of these companies that drags their feet. They send this person out to look at that one day, and then there's 2 days on the job, and then 3 days off, and then they're here, and then they're... 2-day Painting is committed to staffing your job with a full crew that can knock it out in a timely manner. I brought 2-day Painting into my home this spring. I recommend them for yours. Painting projects inside and out. And here's a special deal right now. You can take advantage of the summer special, 15% off the cost of your project when you tell them Vinny sent you. And there's more. 10% back, up to $1,000 to spend on a winter job this year. 262-706-1135. 262-706-1135. 2-day Painting. That's 2daypainting.com.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WIS Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WisCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Checking in with Debbie Lozica at 722.
All right, westbound 94 is eased up nicely. We are back to normal from downtown all the way out to Waukesha. We got the eastbound side rolling along well, too. We got a little bit of a backup on 894 westbound, 27th Street to 68th. That's really the only heavy spot that we've got up on the board just yet. I'm Debbie Lozica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast. Nice one today, high of 79 degrees. Just a few clouds this afternoon, mostly clear skies tonight. Low down to 64. Weekend looks good as well. High of 82 on Saturday under partly cloudy skies. And for Sunday, high of 79. A little bit more on the humid side with a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon. Right now, Milwaukee at 64.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Say fight! Fight! Say fight! Fight! Say fight! Fight!
Still bumping to Kid Rock this morning. ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan, who spent the week with us here in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, tirelessly filing reports and doing live reporting for stations like ours all over the country, is live with us this morning. What's your flight situation today, Jim?
It's supposed to be on time. It's supposed to be leaving a little afternoon time, and so far, Vince, it's running on time. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, call that one in. Make sure.
Yeah, I would check.
Yeah.
Everything we're seeing, the lines at the airport. Listen, if you get stuck, my friend, we're around, and we're available to you.
Yeah, Greg and Jessica were great hosts this week. Dropped by and saw them every morning over at their location and at Baird Center. It was great.
So, Jim, I want to ask you, how did we do? You cover major events all over the country, often in much larger cities than ours.
Yeah.
How did Milwaukee and Wisconsin meet this challenge?
And that's an important facet here. It's about, 500,000 people here in Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
And and I think the city did a great job. The security was good. Obviously had a lot of help from other areas around the region, but the hospitality was very nice. The hotels were up and running, and I think Milwaukee did a great job.
So, Jim, like you, I was covering the president on Thursday night. I was there for the big event.
Jim, Erik Big Plans Bilstad here stayed for the whole thing and slept at the station. So.
Wow. That's dedication.
Commitment.
But, so one thing that I noticed, and Vince actually said it too, it was almost like the tale of three speeches.
Huh.
It was different. It wasn't just one speech. There were so many different themes to it.
3 acts.
Yeah.
I think, you're right. I mean, it started out, and going in, I asked some of the delegates what they were expecting, what they were hoping for, and they said, we'll probably see kind of a softer edge here. I mean, all week long, he's been quietly sitting and listening there in the VIP box as the speakers have come up and smiling and waving and fairly subdued. And I think people were anticipating that going in last night. And for the first 15 minutes or so, maybe that's how it was, as he described the event 5 days earlier when he nearly lost his life. But then he kind of turned it around. He didn't have the name Joe Biden written into his speech, but he eventually couldn't help himself. And he mentioned Biden's name a couple of times and then kind of went on the attack. So what happened after that, you're right. I mean, at first it started as this nomination acceptance speech. It became this backstory, Donald Trump talking about the assassination attempt, and then it became essentially a campaign rally.
I was sitting next to your colleague, Stephen Portnoy, and from our vantage point, you could see the teleprompter.
Yes.
And it was funny how many times
sat there.
Yeah, how many times the teleprompter did not move.
When should I roll up again?
Right, and you wondered, okay, he's vamping again.
Right, and that's what he tends to do, and I think that the crowd was most excited, most receptive, and loudest when he was off script, and that's what he thrives on. Donald Trump loves that sort of rally atmosphere, and so last night started as an acceptance speech, became a 93-minute campaign rally. That's the longest nomination acceptance speech of any convention ever. The last it beats the record set in 2016 by Donald Trump.
So, Jim, and we're talking with ABC's Jim Ryan, still here in Milwaukee covering the convention. Chicago next for the Democrats. Mm-hmm. And this has the chance to have a very different feel. Their party is not in the same place as this Republican Party that perhaps was fractured during the primaries, but by all accounts this week, everyone you talk to, seems fully behind and confident in their nominee.
Well, I think you're right, and we saw that the parade of speakers this week, Vince, when people like Mark Rubio and Ted Cruz and Nikki Haley, notably, just 4 months ago, she was running her own campaign for the nomination and coming down hard on Donald Trump. Well, they kissed, they made up, and she was there speaking on his behalf. So I think you're right, and who knows what's going to happen in the next month before the DNC, because they can't seem to settle even on a nominee at the top of the ticket. So it's going to be this whole campaign season leading up to November is going to be crazy.
ABC's Jim Ryan here in Milwaukee. Appreciate you being with us this week, Jim. And if there's anything we can do to help you today,
hope you can
come
get
on
out.
by. You know where we are.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, my friend. News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average fell more than 500 points, giving back some of its earlier gains, now at 40,665. In trading on Thursday, the Nasdaq closed at 17,871. That was down about 125 points. S&P 500 down as well to 55.45. That was off 44 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. Put it simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperfiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
Ask about our finance options.
7:30. I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Friday, July 19th. Our top story. The impact of this global IT outage is growing.
I'm Erik Bilstad. A growing tide for calls for President Biden to step aside.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Westbound 894 is going to be our heavy spot right now from 27th Street all the way to 68th. Otherwise, the rest of the system is actually looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
79 degrees and sunshine today. Maybe a few clouds moving in this afternoon. Mostly clear skies tonight. Low down to 64. Right now, Milwaukee at 64 degrees.
This is a special report from ABC News. Global IT outage. I'm Sherry Preston. A Windows update overnight put out by cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike has taken down computers around the world. Affected facilities include hospitals, retailers, pharmacies, and airlines here and overseas. ABC's Ariel Reshev is at LaGuardia Airport right now.
That outage forcing major carriers like American, Delta, and United to halt all of their flights overnight. Passengers are gathered here in this terminal. They are frustrated. They are searching for answers about when their flights may actually take off. Now, we're hearing this morning that some of these carriers are now operational again, but it is going to take time to get everything up and running, so you can expect major delays throughout the day.
We're getting word that some government systems have also been affected. Alaska says state troopers there are describing a statewide outage of their 911 system. CrowdStrike insisting this was a software update and not a cyber attack. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a global IT outage causing real-world impact on folks here in southeast Wisconsin. Thousands are trying to get out of town, leaving the RNC. Security personnel, the delegates, all the support staff, kind of in limbo at Milwaukee Mitchell International while flights are being delayed. Many are canceled. Multiple Speedway gas stations, some in the West Allis area. We've checked in at South Milwaukee. They've confirmed to WTMJ that their card readers are being impacted. More on this developing story through the morning here at WTMJ.
History made in Milwaukee.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
It was a raucous crowd at Fiserv Forum Thursday night as Donald Trump formally accepted the nomination.
The Trump family is dancing on the stage behind me. Melania, Ivanka, Donald Trump, the children, the grandchildren, and the red carpet we've seen all week at Fiserv Forum is now red, white, and blue as a cascade of balloons has rained down onto that carpet. Teleprompter operator probably had the toughest job here tonight. Donald Trump often just saying what he wanted to say, ignoring the teleprompter. Speech lasted about an hour and a half. Inside a raucous Fiserv Forum, John Merkier, WTMJ News.
Boy, and it wasn't supposed to be an hour and a half. Eric, you and I were both at that briefing at 10 o'clock in the morning.
55 minutes.
That's what they said. And they said, but the president is still working on it, and he's writing it himself. It seemed like so many things that they talked about. This would be the campaign spokespeople would come out and give us an idea of what was happening in the day. And so many things they talked about were always with the caveat of, but, and it was kind of like a wink, wink, nod, nod. You know who our nominee is, and things change when he decides they do.
Sometimes things change.
Let's talk about Wisconsin's political landscape after this convention.
How does former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker feel about the Republican Party's momentum in Wisconsin?
It's good, but I know how close Wisconsin is, and so we can't take anything for granted.
He tells WTMJ that his party should focus on
affordability, the issues. Talk about affordability. When we think about gas prices, food prices, housing prices, we talk about securing the border, not just for the border's sake, but for things like fentanyl and other drugs coming across.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The former president, and his running mate will be in Grand Rapids on Saturday. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris will visit Milwaukee in just a couple of days. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel says she'll be here Tuesday in Milwaukee. This comes as now top Democrats, more of them, are publicly calling for President Biden to step aside. A location and time for Harris's arrival has yet to be determined.
School bus crash in Racine County injured 11 people, including 10 children. This was Thursday afternoon. Sunnyside Drive and Church Road in the town of Dover. School bus and a minivan collided. There were 46 children and 5 adults on board the bus. 10 children, 1 adult ended up in the hospital, non-life-threatening injuries. The adult driver and 3 children in the minivan did not need further medical treatment. Traffic is sponsored by 2 Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at 2menajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Coming up, so when will this glitch be done?
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for 2, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle or 7.5-ounce mini cans, selected varieties, Coke products, 4 for $17. 48 ounces, selected varieties, Cedar Crust ice cream, $3.99. 4 to 12 count or 16-ounce, selected varieties, Halo Top ice cream or bars, $3.99. 45-ounce tub Imperial spread, $3.99.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Vince Vitrano for Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical. Joined by Nicole, who along with her husband Brent owns the company. Nicole, why is now a good time to have you out looking at my air conditioner?
Because we want you to get to know us before you have an HVAC or electrical emergency. We will provide maintenance to your AC system so it's ready to operate efficiently on those warm spring days and hot summer nights.
And they are coming. Absolute Comfort, HVAC and Electrical, 262-664-9284, yourcomfortguys.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:37.
30 teams in Major League Baseball, 28 of them play today. 2 don't. That's our game. We'll talk about how that sets up in sports at 7:45.
Global technology outage worldwide, grounding flights, knocking out banks and hospital systems, even the truck stops in some areas, even here in Wisconsin. This massive disruption that's affected companies, again, across the country. The biggest issue right now at Milwaukee Mitchell's, you have all of these people leaving.
Yeah, so this is an issue that's affecting all airports around the world. It's not even just in the U.S. So this is not specific to Milwaukee, but certainly when flights are delayed or canceled, it takes a while for any of the airlines to recover from that.
Now, this was not a cyber attack. It was like an upload glitch, if you will. That was Harold Mester, spokesman over at Milwaukee Mitchell. He says that today is the day. This is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, if you will.
We've been preparing for the last year plus for large crowds coming through the airport because this is the busiest departure day probably of the whole year at this airport. So there's plenty of staff on hand, and that's helping to work through some of this. But until those systems, the airline systems, are brought back online, there's going to be delays.
And they're encouraging anybody, especially if they already know they have a delay or a cancellation, to not even come to the airport. Work from that, via your phone or from home before rolling in.
Yeah, his point is this isn't an airport issue here in Milwaukee or anywhere else. This is an airline issue with the software that they use, and therefore there's nothing really Milwaukee Mitchell can tell you about that.
So cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike is saying that the issue is believed to be behind the outage was not a security incident or a cyber attack, and that a fix is on the way.
News is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management's Money Talk. That's heard Saturdays at 10, right here on WTMJ.
Market volatility, global issues. We hear about inflation easing, but it's still a real issue. More than a few headwinds this year. That's probably why Americans like you feel uncertain about their financial future. Just 59% of affluent Americans felt secure last year, and that's down from the year before. Boomers, not much room for error. Gen X might need more than a 401k. And for millennial families with big dreams, it's time to get real about saving and investing. Talk to Annex Wealth Management. Build security with a partner on your side for unbiased advice. Our goal is a plan that prepares you to maintain your desired lifestyle throughout retirement. Investments are a start, but you may need more. That's why Annex delivers tax and estate planning. There's an Annex plan personalized for you. Annex Comprehensive Wealth fits most individuals and families, but if you've got high net worth with complex needs, Annex Private Client is your solution. Just starting out? Annex Ignite is a great choice. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Every great Midwest bank branch has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Michael Quizon is IT Systems Administrator. Michael, the bank has a slogan.
We are called Simply Local. We're a Simply Local bank.
And your business technology company, James Imaging Systems, has been a 100% locally owned and managed company right here in Wisconsin for over 40 years.
They're more like a partner to us.
In what way?
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, document imaging technology, and local service and support.
We can get our printers up and running right away if we have any issues. We can do our business without any downtime at all.
The benefit to Great Midwest Bank?
Efficient operations, time savings on my end. There's no other partner that we can bring on.
Start your partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Checking in with Debbie here at 20 minutes before 8.
All right, westbound on 894, we do have some backups from about Loomis all the way to more closer to Forest Home. So just watch out for those delays. We're starting to see a little bit more volume on westbound 94 going through the Stadium interchange, starting to build up a little bit on 43 northbound as well. Seeing a few taps of the brakes between Locust and Keefe. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunny with a few clouds moving in this afternoon. Bit warmer, high of 79 degrees, low down to 64 tonight, and a really nice looking weekend. Saturday, high of 82 under partly cloudy skies. Sunday, a little bit more on the humid side with a slight chance of showers in the afternoon and a high of 79. Right now, Milwaukee at 64. Coming up on 7:42 this Friday morning. You know who had a bad week in Milwaukee? Okay, we talked about some of the bars and restaurants. Didn't see the trickle-down effect that they were hoping for the RNC. You know who else had a bad week? Protesters.
We have to show, as we have shown historically, that the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
That was from the big event, the rally at downtown's Red Arrow Park, parade around. That was Monday. And that was about it. Told you a couple of weeks ago, we were wringing our hands over the parade route and protesters potentially clashing with police and things getting out of control and violence. And that didn't happen with these protests, in part because virtually nobody cared. Headline of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, demonstrators who hope to spread their message at Milwaukee RNC find no audience. They found the same thing kind of everybody else found. Much to the chagrin of bars and restaurants who had hoped for a robust walk-in crowd. Downtown, people went to private parties and they went to the convention and largely didn't do anything else. They weren't out and about.
We just didn't get the walk-in crowd, said protester.
Yes.
Come on.
JS has all these protest organizers complaining that nobody was around. Some groups who registered to march or to demonstrate in various designated areas didn't even show up. Those who did had small numbers. JS said at Zeidler Square, which in fairness to the city, where they put people, there was complaining, well, we wanted to be closer to Fiserv. This was a block away from the primary entry point for the hard security perimeter. So right next to the fencing almost. Mm-hmm. A security guard in an orange T-shirt told the Journal-Sentinel another organization was supposed to come speak after this group and then parade around the square together. But the other group didn't show up. Quote, there's not another group, so we don't really know what to do, this protester said. I guess what should we do? There's no one there. They're not here. We only got a few, and there's no one here to see our protest or to hear us marching and screaming. I think a number of people were under the impression that they would be showing up and there would be crowds of people waiting to listen to them. That's a spokesperson for the mayor's office, Jeff Fleming. Here's the money line. They may be showing up and finding out there aren't people waiting to hear them.
Yep. Well, yeah. I saw some. Like, there were definitely some outside some of the entrances.
Yeah. And this isn't a right or left thing because they're going to encounter the same thing down in Chicago. We're talking about putting them 3 miles away from all of the events in downtown Chicago when the Democrats have their convention there. But it's the definition of a tree falling in the woods and no one's there to hear it. It didn't make a sound. 7:44 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Still loving retirement and still loving the energy-efficient windows and patio doors Hometown installed a few years ago. They keep my utility bills in line during hot summer months and add equity to my home all year long. Contact Hometown for a no-pressure in-home consultation or check out their home show-style New Berlin showroom featuring national brand names like Pella, Marvin, and Anderson. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. HometownWindows.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
There are 30 teams in Major League Baseball, 28 of them, play today. And one of them is not the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers back in action after the All-Star break. They play in Minnesota. Tomorrow it's a 6:10 first pitch. Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Rick Schlesinger, Brewers President of Business Operations, on the line with us this morning. Yeah, we get extra day off there, Rick. That's got to help our team. I know a number of folks that we talked to were pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, I think it's nice for the players. It is a little odd that we don't have a game on Friday, but we'll recharge, and then we've got a short 2-game series with the Twins and the Cubs, and then we're back in town next week.
That means you can hit a fish fry and enjoy your evening.
There you go.
Yeah, I think they're going to just be just fine with it. And again, break came at a good time. I think we've had some injuries and guys are getting healthy, and we've had guys play every game, and it's just nice to have a little break. But I'm excited to see what happens the second half. We've got a 4.5-game lead, tough division, but our guys are coming back healthy, and should be fun for the stretch.
Rick, Jeff Levering told us, and I guess I hadn't looked at the schedule in the same way that you all do, but he said that we have a robust home schedule here for this second half, that we were sort of weighted heavy on the road in this front half of the season. That's good, not only for, obviously, the team on the field, but also for you at American Family Field.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. It's always a little better playing at home. We have a very backloaded schedule, so a lot of games in September, which if assuming we're playing as like we have been, those games would be meaningful, important, and fun, and we should have some good crowds. But yeah, it's definitely been backloaded, which I like, and we'll play hard baseball, and we'll see what happens.
Any big theme nights coming up, Rick? What do you have at the ballpark? Again, as you mentioned, we don't come home until a week from today.
Yeah, I think the couple of fun things going on is we've got Yacht Rock Night.
Oh, yes,
July
I got the
26th.
hat. Thank you.
It fits nicely on your head.
It does. I wear it well.
Hat, of course. Then we've got a Brewers Connect Hawaiian shirt on July 27th, first 30,000 fans. And then Ryan Braun's being inducted in our Walk of Fame on July 28th. So we're going to have a nice pregame ceremony. Some former players, Mike Cameron, Bill Hall, J.J. Hardy, Corey Hart, Moustakis, Ricky Weeks, obviously, will be back, and we'll be with Braun. So it'll be nice to hear from him and, get the sort of recognition he deserves. So very big weekend coming up against the Marlins in terms of all these festivities.
Rick, one of the coolest things, I don't care the sport, is when these guys get back together and they see their old teammates, and if you can just be a fly on the wall, right, and listen into the things they remember and how they mess with each other, I mean, that's really special to be around.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they play a lot of games with each other. They're with each other 6 months straight, and for several years, and then all of a sudden it's over, and you come back and, realize life goes on, but some great memories. So I know Bronny's excited to see his former teammates, and a lot of teammates wanted to be here for him. So, it should be kind of cool, and I know it's great to have the connectivity with these guys. They love coming back, and not only seeing the fans, but seeing their former teammates and former coaches, and should be a fun weekend.
Rick Schlesinger from your Milwaukee Brewers on Brewers 360 today. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick! And the Brewers, once again, open the second half of the season. Please don't text. I know mathematically we're beyond the second half. Actually, they played 95 games this year. Or 97. Or
I love the voice you create for the person who's correcting you.
Who's correcting you on, right. It's the second half because it's after the All-Star break.
Yes.
Nonetheless, it starts out for the Brewers tomorrow in Minnesota. 7:49 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tosher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family-owned business for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off and 0% interest for 12 months on your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
The shareholders meeting coming up on Monday. Eric, you asked if I was going to go. I'm thinking for an assortment of reasons, I'm not.
Okay.
Not the least of which is I think I'm going to EAA on Monday.
Oh, very nice.
Definitely have blocked out a day because I got to get up there. My son desperately wants to go as well. Yes, riding right into it. Prepare for nonstop excitement here. EAA Air Venture Oshkosh. Home to the world's busiest airport and the finest air shows you'll ever witness. July 22nd, so kicks off Monday through the 28th. They've got thrilling daily air shows, over 7 action-packed days, including 2 electrifying air shows that happen at night. That's amazing. Get ready for some great aerobatics. Military jets will be there, cutting-edge tech, breathtaking warbird displays. World's greatest aviation celebration with aerial spectacles and family fun through the week. You can get tickets right now. They're available at eaa.org/tickets. And you can join us at EAA AirVenture Oshkosh for an unforgettable adventure.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking in with Debbie Lazica here, 8 minutes before 8 o'clock.
All right, northbound on 43, starting to slow down just north of Fond du Lac Avenue up towards Keefe. Westbound now slowing down from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And then again, a little bit of a brake check as you're crossing the county line into Waukesha County. Westbound on 894, backups from 27th Street towards Forest Home. Hey, be your eyes on the roads. Report incidents to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Nice one today, high 79 degrees. Just a few clouds moving in this afternoon. Mostly clear skies tonight, low down to 64. I'll take you through the weekend, high of 82 on Saturday under partly cloudy skies. And Sunday looks like a slight chance of showers in the afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy and a high of 79 degrees. Milwaukee temp at 64.
Idea Man.
I think you guys should be pushing. Get out to Vegas. Do a road show. Morning road show out in Las Vegas.
Innovative.
It has a good chance of beating the Eclipse.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
No, here's what you do. No, you get all the way, but you stop in Reno, because then you're 97% of the way. All right.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Fellow Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Our Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News is sponsored by Kohler Services. Tausch, update on Erik Big Plans Bilstad. He followed through. He slept here last night following the gavel out at the RNC.
And thankfully, it was the longest speech in the history of acceptance. It was supposed to be less than
an hour. It was an hour and a half.
90 minutes long.
Isn't that how it always goes? You have a long week, and you're kind of hoping, like if you go to church, you're kind of hoping for that short sermon, and every time that you hope or think everything's going to go longer. But so you slept. What did you do? You go air mattress in the office, or what did you end up doing?
Yeah, I did air mattress in one of the production studios.
I heard it deflating this morning.
Yeah, I quickly put it away. I didn't want to forget and leave it out. Someone walk in there and step on my mattress. But
that's great dedication.
I was going to say that one thing that I noticed sleeping here overnight for 3.5 hours or whatever it was is, you know how sometimes when you sleep at a new house, you'll hear sounds.
Oh, yeah, unfamiliar place, right? Creaks and groans of the HVAC or whatever.
Lots of creaks and groans and people. There's I don't know what I was hearing, but I could hear men pushing carts and things. I wasn't sure if they're in the office or not, but I heard them.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is a lot of times you're a little bit anxious, and it's obviously harder to fall asleep because it's unique surroundings. But then the other part is when you do wake up and you don't have your, you probably have your cell phone with you, but you don't have a clock. You have no idea the time, and then there's that moment where you're like, where am I? And you can't quite get your bearings about you, and there's cleaning people walking through. I could just imagine that's always the part that freaks you out a little bit. I think this could be something. Eric, you're such a creative writer. This could be like a movie script where you could have some people from the RNC, like all of the, you just start thinking about all the political drama that you could drive up from writing a book or something off of what happened over the course of the week, with last night being that catalytic moment for you to write a book.
I like this.
You know what else he did, Tausch? He sent an email, 11 p.m., midnight last night.
It's got to be close to midnight.
And I opened my email this morning because I was going to come in super early to prep. And it said, do not wake me up before 4 a.m. Yeah. I am here. I'm sleeping.
I did not want...
Hey, Eric, let's go.
I did not want to find myself on TikTok. Some video of me sleeping.
Let's get that show plan together.
Hey, it's all about creating content. Yeah. So if you, that's where Vince, you should have went in there, kind of kicked him around and videoed while it was going. But Eric, you didn't have to. Everybody knew you wanted to sleep. You didn't have to disconnect it. It sounds like you disconnected the entire internet. Is what it sounds like over the course of the last thing.
The global.
Nobody can fly out. You got everybody sticking around at the Milwaukee airport and everything else. So. I would think that you'd want everybody to get the hell out of here, but it seems like maybe that wasn't the case.
I'm doing the local businesses a favor. Hopefully all these delegates stay one more night.
Yeah, I don't mind if they stay. Let's just get these barriers down from downtown.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tausch. We'll talk again next week.
You bet.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Milwaukee Area Technical College is exploring the lease of a new shared-use athletic training facility that would be co-developed and co-owned by the Bucks and real estate developer J. Jeffers & Company. Construction could begin as early as spring 2025. The Waukesha YMCA is on the move. The downtown branch in the city relocates to the Waukesha County Technical College campus after a $30 million fundraising campaign. The Iron Horse Hotel owner says it is on the verge of emerging from bankruptcy after years of legal battles. Paperwork was filed earlier this month, and it is expected to be approved by the court on August 12th. I'm Drew Dawson with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
One time my dad painted our entire 2-story house. He was on a ladder the whole summer. Vince Vitrano for 2-Day Painting. I learned from that. Called 2-Day Painting for our family's job. 2-Day Painting handles everything, including cracked or missing caulk, rotten wood, and of course, a beautiful finish on your home. And because they put a full crew on every job, they complete the work without the project dragging on. Take advantage of the 15% off summer special, plus 10% back up to $1,000 in free winter interior work. 262-706-1135, 2daypainting.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
8 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News, Friday, July 19th. Our top story, wide-reaching impacts of a global IT outage.
I'm Erik Bilstad. History in downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Northbound 43 slowing down from about Kilbourne all the way up to about Keefe. The southbound side still looking pretty good. Westbound 94 slowing 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And 894 westbound, just west of 27th Street. That's where the brake lights come on, and you're going to see delays all the way out towards 68th Street. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A few clouds this afternoon, otherwise a lot of sunshine today, and a high of 79 degrees. Low down to 64 tonight under mostly clear skies. Right now, 64 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, thousands of visitors for the Republican National Convention encountering major delays at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. The airport navigating this global IT outage that has grounded flights across the globe, impacting several card readers here in southeast Wisconsin at gas stations. TMJ4's Sydney Orr is at Milwaukee Mitchell, where they're trying to get people on board planes.
We were told just a little bit ago that they have put some alternative measures in place to continue processing folks here at the airport. The happiest people we've seen all morning are those flying with Southwest. No issues there, but if you're flying with American, Delta, United, all of those have been issued ground stops here this morning because of those communication issues.
Airport Communications Director Harold Mester says the airport doing the best it can to handle the situation this morning.
We've been preparing for the last year plus for large crowds coming through the airport because this is the busiest departure day probably of the whole year at this airport. So there's plenty of staff on hand, and that's helping to work through some of this. But until those systems, the airline systems, are brought back online, there's going to be delays.
It's anticipated to be one of the busiest, if not the busiest day of the year at Milwaukee Mitchell. Anyone flying today should check their flight status before leaving for the airport.
History in Milwaukee.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
In a speech that was more than 35 minutes longer than originally anticipated, one that the campaign said former President Donald Trump wrote himself. He delivered it Thursday, recounting in part of the speech the memory of the attempt on his life.
It was Donald Trump's first speech since the assassination attempt on Saturday, and he told the crowd here at Pfizer Forum he'd never tell the story again.
When I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear, I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet.
Not only a historic moment made in Milwaukee, but a memorable one, too. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Former President Trump and his new running mate, J.D. Vance, J.D. Vance will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan tomorrow. Meanwhile, President Biden now recovering from COVID at his home in Delaware as he faces escalating pressure from senior Democrats to drop out of the race and make way for a new nominee. ABC's Mary Bruce.
Sources say the president is now more receptive to hearing concerns about his candidacy. Pelosi sources say telling fellow Democrats those conversations could push Biden to make a decision soon. But the president has been adamant that he has made his decision. He's staying in this race. And senior White House officials insist he remains as committed as ever.
Vice President Kamala Harris is planning to visit Milwaukee. It'll be just days after the Republican National Convention's conclusion. And amid these growing calls from top Democrats, some now publicly calling for President Biden to withdraw from the 24 race. The VP supposed to be here in Milwaukee on Tuesday. Location and time still to be announced.
Breaking news from overseas. A Russian court has convicted Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich.
Evan Gershkovich sentenced to 16 years in prison after a secretive and rapid trial. The 32-year-old, his employer, and the U.S. government vehemently denied the charges. He was detained in March last year while on a reporting trip in the Ural Mountains region and accused of spying. There's some speculation the trial came to an unusually swift conclusion to perhaps clear the way for a swap between Moscow and Washington. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Coming up, armchair quarterbacks rejoice. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:05.
This report is sponsored by the Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular, August 1st through the 11th.
Country's hottest rising star, Riley Green.
There was this girl
live.
Drink in her hand.
August 7th, 7:30 p.m. State Fair Main Stage presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With special guest Averyana.
Yeah, we're doing things a little.
On sale now at wistatefair.com. Riley Green, live in concert. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here. If you're like me, your home is your happy place, and you spend a lot of time there, and this may have renewed your focus on home projects, let me tell you the company you need to work with. It's the company I trust, CertaPro Painters. Each business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They did the work in our house. Absolutely fantastic. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy, choose CertaPro Painters. Exterior painting, still getting booked for the summer. Work with CertaPro Painters. installers.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
The convention is over. Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley telling Spanning the State here on WTMJ the real effects will be felt not just in the coming days, but the coming years.
This wasn't just about this particular week. This is our championship run, like the Bucks run, right? To where we have all these eyeballs across the world looking at Milwaukee. And so in the future, we can show folks that we have the ability to handle an all-star game, that we can handle, wink, wink, an NBA NFL draft.
So roughly 50,000 people were said to be in Milwaukee for the convention.
Several people injured when an apparent drone exploded in Tel Aviv. The incident occurred near a branch office for the U.S. Embassy.
A blast heard near the U.S. Embassy branch office near Tel Aviv. Israeli emergency services saying at least 10 people were injured, 1 killed. Israeli fire and rescue officials are investigating a possible drone explosion. A State Department spokesperson telling ABC News there was no damage to the U.S. Embassy branch office building, and there have been no reports of injuries to embassy staff. Inez de la Quatera, ABC News. At the Foreign Desk.
Comedy legend Bob Newhart has died.
Bob Newhart's publicist, Jerry Digney, says the iconic comedian died after a series of short illnesses at his home in Los Angeles. Newhart was perhaps best known for 2 very popular CBS sitcoms, The Show Newhart in the 80s and The Bob Newhart Show in the 70s.
I can be spontaneous if you give me a week or two, to plan it out.
His 1960 comedy album, The Button-Down Mind of Bob Newhart, won him 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year and Best New Artist. It was his first comedy album, and it also topped the sales charts. In recent years, he won an Emmy for guest starring on The Big Bang Theory. Bob Newhart was 94. Jason Nathanson, ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:08.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
Michael Quizon is the IT systems administrator at Great Midwest Bank. Before switching to document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, they had a printer problem.
We talked to James Imaging. We said, we need to take down the number of printers that we have. What can we do?
The experts at James Imaging Systems researched your printing process, overall workflow, costs, supplies.
So we went from probably 120, 130 printers down to 50 some odd printers.
And
our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
Michael, the benefit as the bank's IT systems administrator?
I don't have to deal with printers. One less thing on my plate.
Anything to add about your experience?
In terms of James Imaging, they've been a great partner.
Switch to document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Relax with a cold beverage and a great Friday fish fry in an up-north supper club atmosphere. Right here at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. WTMJ's John Mercure here for one of my favorite spots. The fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. So enjoy your favorite steak, seafood, the pan-fried walleye, even steak and lobster. Your second dinner is free as you dine in one of the 8 beautiful dining rooms. Relax with your favorite beverage on the patio in the woods. It is spectacular. Great place for a beer, a glass of wine. Saturday night, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. The magnificent Sunday brunch is all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest for your free dinner this weekend, a Wisconsin summer must-see. Tables are open at my favorite place, Fox and Hounds Restaurant.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Richlands Tire and Service Center.
Richlands Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlands.com when you're due for service.
8:10, let's get an update on traffic with Debbie Lazaga.
All right, northbound 43 tying up just a little bit right past Fond du Lac Avenue and then right around the North Avenue curve up towards Keefe. Southbound still pretty clear right now. Westbound on 94 backed up from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And then on 894 westbound, 27th Street all the way to 68th is where you're seeing those delays. Rest of the system looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Nice looking day ahead, high of 79 degrees. A few clouds moving in this afternoon. Otherwise, a lot of sunshine. Mostly clear skies tonight. Low down to 64. Milwaukee temp at 64.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
Just about 12 minutes after 8 on Wisconsin's Morning News. As the Wisconsin delegation proudly waved their cheese heads in the air, former President Donald Trump thanked the city and the state for hosting this convention.
And a very special thank you to the extraordinary people of Milwaukee and the great state of... Oh, there they are. There they are. You are so easy to spot.
They all wore cheese heads from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Mercure and Julia are taking credit for it on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
They're
They
the
said
ones,
it was their idea.
Yeah, they pushed it and they went out and got them.
Because no one else has ever thought of cheese heads for... All right. How'd we do? What went well? What did we learn? What will the legacy be for Milwaukee and for Southeast Wisconsin after hosting this event? Visit Milwaukee, critical in winning this convention, critical in staging this convention. The president and CEO, Peggy Williams-Smith, is live with us this morning. Peggy, I'm sure you're on no sleep, so I do appreciate you being available to us today.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it.
So
My
let me
voice
start
is a little hoarse.
Yeah, let me start with that situation at the airport, which we hadn't planned for. Milwaukee, Mitchell, and airports around the world. So this isn't a Milwaukee problem, or Milwaukee's fault, but it's happening here. Affected by this global ground stop due to computer issues this morning. Got tens of thousands of people trying to get out of town today. Is Visit in any way able to engage with any of these visitors here and help them through this?
We have not yet, no. I have not talked to anyone. I've actually not left my hotel room yet. So I'm not, I just saw it pop up on the news.
Yeah.
And I did see that Harold from the airport said to make sure you check before you think that it's canceled because it's only affecting certain airlines.
And maybe we can get some folks to spend another day or two here.
Well, I'm watching the Today Show right now, and Savannah's still broadcasting live from Milwaukee.
It's got to make you happy. Let's continue with how you will evaluate the success or any issues that you encountered over the last week or the run-up. We talked about 50,000 visitors. We talked about $250 million economic impact. Will you study this now to see if that came to fruition?
Absolutely. We've already met with the host committee. We are working with Oxford Economics to put together an economic impact survey. It typically takes anywhere from, maybe 90 days to put it together, and we'll begin to look at what was spent here and how it affected the economy.
Is there any way to know just immediately as far as happiness among some of the local business owners? We had heard that the RNC was even trying to remind delegates, hey, you know what, go peruse the city, check out some of the other areas, just because so many of them had been shuttling either from hotel to convention or eating on site or whatever they were doing. They just didn't seem to be hitting some of the restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with any convention. You don't know where they're going to choose to go. Starting tomorrow, Northwestern Mutual comes in, and they have their favorite restaurants that they hit every single time they come in. So I've heard from several business owners that this was the best week they've had. I've heard from business owners who called me and said they were 20% down. This is a long game. It's not just these 5 days. This convention has created economic impact starting over 18 months ago. So it wasn't these 4 days alone that we're looking at, because that doesn't show or paint the entire picture. We hosted a debate last year where, we had thousands of people coming in, 5,000 journalists. We had I've heard 30,000 credentialed journalists that were at the RNC this year. That's people walking around the street, maybe not all on the convention floor, people who are asking questions about Milwaukee, learning about Milwaukee, and talking about Milwaukee on their local news, which exposes us to people who may have never seen Milwaukee.
Talking with President and CEO of Visit Milwaukee, Peggy Williams-Smith. Peggy, what were the personal interactions that you were able to have with people from outside our area? I'm curious what they told you, what they wanted to know, and what their Milwaukee story was.
I heard just that our people are so friendly and so welcoming, and that made this different from other conventions they attended. Everyone from on the convention floor, meeting the original site selection committee that came here, that has been working on this for the last 3 years, to hear their stories from their delegations and how happy they were. I think one of the biggest fears was transportation, and it didn't, the first day it seemed to have a few glitches, but after that people got here quickly, safely, and were able to enjoy the city.
Speaking of transportation, what happens now? I know that there's still some barricades up. I know Vince has noticed some too this morning. Obviously, that wasn't going to disappear overnight, but is there a plan on how quickly some of the roads will be cleared?
I was told by end of day today they should be cleared.
Boy, talk about no break either, Peggy. We're just rolling into more stuff happening this week. And you mentioned Northwestern Mutual and their annual deal. You've got Harley-Davidson, which has now made Homecoming an annual event coming in next week. Milwaukee Air and Water Show. Like, no rest for any of you folks over there. Let's go.
Oh, that's what this is. This just shows we're a big city. We can handle multiple things and move from one to another. And we have German Fest next weekend, too.
Are there specific events, Peggy, that you will now target and say, look at what we did here, whether it's another Major League Baseball All-Star game, whether it's the NBA draft? Are there things, can you tell us anything specifically in terms of events that you will go out and say, look what we did, bring this to Milwaukee?
Well, we've been doing that. We started when we secured the DNC. So we'll just continue, and now we'll be able to say that we executed a convention, which is going to be better for us. There's really nothing we won't go after, unless it requires a football stadium. That's the only thing we can't really go after.
Because we don't have one, right? Okay.
Correct. Yes. And with winterizing of American Family Field, there are more events that we'll be able to bring to Milwaukee in the off season in that stadium.
Anything that you think we could have done better? What did you learn from the week? Now, as you said, you planned the DNC. It largely didn't come to fruition due to COVID. You planned this event, but then you executed it over the last week. Anything you learned or thought we could do better?
I wish more businesses would have been downtown. People downtown from Milwaukee. We had a huge contingent of volunteers who were able to talk to people, and there were some businesses. I ran into people that did come down to work because they wanted to experience what was happening down here. But it would have been nice to have more people here who were living here and working here.
I would agree with you. We now that we have the experience that we do as local radio hosts and folks that people listen to, I wouldn't have known had we not done it. But I think we could have done better on the messaging of downtown is not inaccessible.
Right.
You can get here. If you have a plan, take a ride share or whatever. If you can get here, there are things to see and do in and around the area. Yeah. And I think sort of the message that people got was, hey, you don't want to come down there if you don't have to. And many businesses told people to work remote.
Yeah. The messaging from the beginning from us was, don't work from home. Come downtown. Mm-hmm. Show how vibrant the city is. And I do wish that we would have been able to do that, because it was the first day there were lines, but there's lines the first day of anything. But by the second day, you could zip down here, park your car. You could park your car downtown. You just couldn't park around the Pfister or around the Convention Center and Fiserv Forum.
Yeah, we started talking about it, Peggy, because I had a buddy text me and ask me, he's like, hey, I'd like to come down and just kind of see the spectacle. What do you think? And I was like, absolutely.
We got room for you.
Yeah, get on down there. So luckily we were able to get a couple.
Yeah, just to even walk around and see the way that they put the fencing together, and watching on TV, that stage was so fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the setup was phenomenal. Do you have a bet? All right, how should I phrase this? Best party you went to, like coolest thing where you looked around and you're like, I can't believe I'm here.
you know what? I did not go to many of the parties. I talked to people who did go to the parties. I went out and supported the local businesses, but I went by. I heard the Southern Governor's event at AmFam Field was fantastic. I heard that I think it was Florida did an event at the Marcus Performing Arts Center, which was, I walked by the tent and it was incredible looking. I mean, there were parties, so many parties every single night.
Anybody famous that you met that you were like, it's cool I met this person?
Well, I mean, a lot of politicians that I was sitting next to or standing next to or spoke to me. It was just an incredible experience to be down here and watch the political process unfold and know that it was happening here in Milwaukee. My husband was giving me updates from home. Peggy, they're making Milwaukee look so good here. I've got this recorded for you. So I can't wait to go back and look at it. The times I was able to watch TV from my office, just every single station in Milwaukee, in beautiful Milwaukee, drone shot, skyline shot, just, we couldn't spend enough money to advertise our city the way it was advertised this week.
President and CEO of Visit Milwaukee, Peggy Williams-Smith. Peggy is
congratulations.
A person, who gets goosebumps when I see our skyline shot on a network somewhere and think, oh, there we are. Congratulations and really great work, not only securing this convention, but executing it overall in a very amazing fashion. Erik and I heard rave reviews from our fellow colleagues in the media, as well as anybody we bumped into.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time this morning. 8:22 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Checking in here with the traffic sitch, Debbie.
Yeah, we...
Nah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, okay, we're going to do it? All right,
yep,
go ahead.
All good. Northbound 43 is a bit backed up around North Avenue curve up towards Keefe. Westbound 94 has eased up nicely again, so everything's moving along smoothly. Westbound on 894, we got backups basically coming out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about 68th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
High interest rates, low inventory. It's tough to find a new house these days. It's tough to move. Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. I've got an idea that you can get started on right now, and an offer good for this month only to make your home so much more pleasant. Getting Inspired Closets in to reimagine any space in your house. Maybe it's the garage, the pantry, your closets, or even a full bedroom and living space. You'll have less clutter. It'll be fully functional and organized, beautiful as well. And then when you do sell, you'll definitely get a return on this investment. And to make it more affordable for your project right now, Katie and Dan at Inspired Closets, they're offering for our Wisconsin's Morning News fans 10% off your project plus 12 months of free financing. This deal is good through the end of this month when you tell them Vinny sent you. No pressure. You get Katie and Dan and their team in your home and see what you can dream up together. Maybe in your home for a while, so let's get the project done now so you can enjoy it for years to come. Inspired days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Have you heard the buzz? I'm not talking about the latest tabloid gossip. I'm referring to the buzz from the wires that feed your home's electrical power. That's the most important buzz of all. But when you don't hear the buzz, you're left powerless. Talk about a buzzkill. But I have some good buzz to share. Mr. Howland's Home Services can install a brand new, whole house backup generator directly into your electrical system. So if Mother Nature goes on a rampage, or if the grid has gridlock, you could still keep the lights lit, the fridge is fridging, Wi-Fiing, and your busy day buzzing. All because you listen to the good buzz about Mr. Howland's whole house generators. Don't wait until the buzz dies down. Keep the lights on and give Mr. Howland's Home Services a buzz today. Call 866-992-1717 or buzz on over to MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you want to stay buzzed, we can help.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title.
I like AC/DC and ZZ Top.
Kid Rock, and yes, Hulk Hogan, among those lighting up the final night of the Republican National Convention at Fiserv Forum. It really was a celebration, you could say.
That's a long way from Clint Eastwood talking to an empty chair. Like, the Republicans definitely stepped up the party aspect of the convention.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, it's funny you say that. Like, you say what you want about Donald Trump, and I know a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about the man and the presidential candidate, but knows how to put on a show. I mean, that's one of the things that he knows how to do, and it started early on with a lot of different speakers. Now, hours before the speech, the floor was already hot. There's people down there. It was busy. All the delegates were down there. Guests were down there. Greg Matzik and I were on the air. We were on with Wisconsin's Afternoon News late in the 5 o'clock hour, and already starting to fill up.
There is much more foot traffic on the floor right now.
But we do see in the upper levels where we are, I mean, they're starting to fill in. We got a little ways yet, and it's starting to trickle in.
Yeah, this would be about 40 minutes from tip-off at a Bucks game. That's kind of what I'm seeing in the upper level.
Yes.
I love that line. He's about right, huh?
So there were two state delegations on the floor at that moment that you could identify even without the stanchions, right? Even without the thing that says Idaho. You knew that these two states were represented by these groups. How did you know?
Yeah, I can tell you one of them was Texas because they wore the the hats all week and they were waving them around all the time, on and off.
And they waved them all
loudly
night, Thursday night. And the other group was Wisconsin. Yeah, they had the foam cheese heads on. And at times they'd kind of disappear. I think sometimes those things get a little hot and heavy to wear. So people take them off for
I got
a bit.
the impression, too, that some were like not sure, like, okay, I get it, the cheese head, but also like, really?
It's a little tired?
The cheese head? Yeah, right.
In the 7 o'clock hour, check on the room.
So I would say we are middle of the first quarter when some of the people in the BMO Club have not yet made it out from getting their beer. And they sit in the really nice seats, right? But the upper level's full, like we're ready to rock. It's already tipped off, and the game is probably the first time out. Giannis probably making his first break.
Yeah, so a couple hours away yet from the president speaking, and you could tell that place was buzzing and ready for it. Okay, so as for the speech.
With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
The president started by talking about unity, being a president for everyone. He went into detail about the shooting that left his ear injured. It was bandaged again on Thursday night.
If the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God.
It really resonated with many of the delegates.
I think it was very difficult for him to relive it, and he said it was going to be the only time he talks about it. So that was very poignant.
Yeah, he did mention that this is the only time he's going to bring up the assassination
Impossible.
attempt. Yeah, it's hard to
Every
believe that.
interview he does, so he's got to do some one-on-ones here down the road, and you would think for the exposure, he's going to be asked about it. He'll be telling that story by 4 this afternoon, right? The next time he's sitting down with somebody.
So that was the first act, right? So it started with this softer, somber-like tone, and it was very compelling. I mean, there are pictures of the incident behind him when it was happening, and he talks through this. He honored the retired fire chief who lost his life, who was standing behind the president with his family on that rally day in Pennsylvania. But then really just kind of turned into a campaign speech. It had all the same rhetoric and different things that you've always heard from the former president. He did mention President Biden's name. I heard the name Biden twice, and that was a big talking point early on. Well, he's not going to mention Biden's name. Well, he did actually bring it up. He also mentioned Wisconsin a couple of times.
And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here, creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
It was a joke. It was meant to be funny. People were laughing when he said it. So the speech would last 90 minutes. The longest acceptance speech of all time.
Since his previous.
Yes, one of his earlier ones.
One of his earlier ones.
And I could see the teleprompter from my vantage point. So I was there got to cover it, and sat next to ABC's Stephen Portnoy as we covered the speech together.
Yeah, how did he like you?
Yeah, he hardly paid attention to me. Actually, no, we chatted. Very, very nice guy. But I could see the teleprompter from my vantage point, and occasionally it would just stop. And he would go on, and you could tell, okay, now he's ad-libbing, he's doing his thing, and then you'd kind of wait and see when he's going to start up again. And it did drag. There was a moment there. You talk about how much of a showman the former president can be. This is one of those moments you're a little surprised at how long he went, knowing that could be a shortened speech probably, and everyone would have been fine with it. But finally, the balloon drop did occur.
Here on the floor of Fiserv Forum, I can seize the cheeseheads waving from the Wisconsin delegation. Red, white, and blue balloons at their feet. An address that lasted an hour and a half. The former president in a red tie and dark blue suit. One Wisconsin delegate telling me a couple of minutes ago it was a long speech, but it was a speech full of things that needed to be said. Fiserv Forum, the floor and the bowl, absolutely rocking right now.
It's John Mercure there from the afternoon show. Former president and his new running mate, J.D. Vance, will now head to Grand Rapids, Michigan tomorrow, provided they got off the ground. Who knows? Maybe they're part of that glitch. I'm kidding. They were gone. As far as the White House goes, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and others now telling that Kamala Harris, vice president, will be in Milwaukee on Tuesday, which is interesting because there's a lot happening right now with the president and what some Democrats are calling for. What will happen on Tuesday? Could we have more history made in Milwaukee next week?
That's an interesting thought. I teased you about it, but Erik Big Plans Bilstad followed through. I give you a lot of credit for choosing to be there and for working through the night. Erik slept here last night. Not much sleep, but
yeah, I was going to say I tried to sleep.
Erik closed his eyes for several hours here overnight, so pretty cool. Worth it?
Yeah, it was definitely worth it to be able to cover
power
something
through
like that
and just be in the room, where it happened.
Bucket list item to be able to cover a convention like that, covering a Super Bowl, a World Series, other big events, Ryder Cup, some of the larger events, an Olympics. That's still on my bucket list. To cover something like that would be really amazing.
I had this thought as well. Folks have asked me, about covering it and whatever, and, great to be in there to see all those things. Would the best events to cover for us in what we do for the morning show? Golf. You mentioned Ryder Cup. That stuff is done by 5, 6 p.m. That's when the night shift people are like, I'm doing a live shot. There's nobody here. It's black. It's pitch black out. For us, we're on the opposite of that. So got the Women's U.S. Open next year at Erin Hills.
Here we go.
So we'll have to be out there
Road
for
trip.
that. 8:34 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the most patriotic American badass on earth.
It's Heiser's Red, White, and Blue event. Service or upgrade your ride today with star-spangled discounts you deserve. Let our certified technicians get your current ride road trip ready for July festivities. Or work with our sales consultants to find the perfect new vehicle for all your summer destinations. Plus, enjoy our exclusive Safe and Sound program with every vehicle sale. See details and offers at Heiser.com and celebrate your independence today. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Breathing triangle problems negatively affect your sleep, making it hard to be at your best. Balloon sinuplasty can help solve these problems so you can breathe well, sleep well, and live better.
8:36 on Wisconsin's Morning News. July 19th at our top story, a global IT outage causing more trouble locally.
I'm Debbie Laziga, northbound on 43, backing up from North Avenue up past Keefe, westbound on 894, heavy from about 20, just west of 27th Street, all the way to about 68th. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
79 degrees, your high temp for today with a few clouds in the afternoon, mostly clear skies tonight, down to 64. Right now, Milwaukee temp is at 64, and from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, global IT outage causing real-world impact on folks who live here in southeast Wisconsin. Thousands trying to get out of town after the RNC in limbo at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. Flights being delayed, in some cases canceled. Multiple Speedway gas stations in the area have confirmed to WTMJ their card readers are being impacted. We continue to follow developments from this story. Stick with us here on WTMJ.
That's a wrap. The RNC is in the books after a party-like atmosphere at Fiserv Forum Thursday night.
Fiserv Forum, I can seize the cheeseheads waving from the Wisconsin delegation, red, white, and blue balloons at their feet. An address that lasted an hour and a half. The former president in a red tie and dark blue suit. One Wisconsin delegate telling me it was a long speech, but it was a speech full of things that needed to be said. Fiserv Forum, the floor in the bowl, absolutely rocking. Inside Fiserv Forum, John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Vice President Kamala Harris due to visit Milwaukee days after the Republican National Convention closed, amid a growing number of top Democrats now even publicly calling for President Biden to withdraw for the 2024 race. The vice president due to be in Milwaukee on Tuesday. Location and time have not yet been announced.
Now that the Republican National Convention has come and gone, work underway to learn if the convention delivered on its promised economic boost. Visit Milwaukee's Peggy Williams-Smith tells Wisconsin's Morning News impact studies are being prepared to assess the true impact on the Milwaukee economy.
It typically takes anywhere from maybe 90 days to put it together, and we'll begin to look at what was spent here and how it affected the economy.
Now, Williams-Smith says she's heard from both businesses who say it was the best week ever, while others have said business was down about 20% from normal levels. We should also point out that there are still some barricades up in the downtown Milwaukee area from this event. Williams-Smith tells us that everything should be cleared by the end of the day today.
Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was on a tear early in the week. It's giving back some of those gains, down more than 500 points on Thursday, and now this morning down an additional nearly 200 points to 40,471. S&P 500 now is basically flat to 55.44, and the NASDAQ at 17,868. That is off just about 3 points. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com. Traffic sponsored by Two Men and a Junk Truck. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
From removing unwanted clutter or junk to full-service residential or commercial cleanouts, get a free same-day estimate at twomenajuncktruck.com. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Coming up, we'll update the local impact of this global IT outage, plus when you can start to get around downtown a little bit better. That's coming up next. News is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Retire well with Kowal.
Hey. Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Our firm has over 36 years of experience in partnering with clients to help accumulate and manage wealth throughout their retirement. Our comprehensive retirement planning process goes beyond specific asset management or estate planning requirements to learn about you, your passions, relationships, and lifelong goals. We truly want to understand you and your vision for retirement. Since we know that every decision matters as you prepare for retirement, we want you to walk away from this 1-hour consultation with the answers to your most critical retirement questions. When you have $750,000 or more in investable assets, we can help you identify the next steps to make sure you can retire well. If you're close to or already retired, give our office a call at 262-522-4040 or visit thecowalway.com to schedule your no-obligation retirement review.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Our house was looking kind of drab. Needed a little bit of a facelift, and I found the team that took care of it big time. It's CertaPro Painters. Each business is independently owned and operated right here in Wisconsin. Schedule your free estimate online. It's easy. CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. They will come out and help you protect your home investment with quality painting. It's CertaPro Painters. They are the real deal. They did great work at our house. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
8:42 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Seems like things have loosened up a little bit at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. It's not our fault in Milwaukee, but we're feeling the impact. A global IT outage causing a global ground stop for several major airlines, and we have tens of thousands of people trying to get out of town today, so it couldn't have hit at a worse time for us here locally.
United, American, Delta all had global ground stops that also affected other airlines as well. This global IT outage also hitting other industries, banks, shops, truck stops. We know a couple of speedways here even locally have been hit by that. So Microsoft says the issue has been fixed, but the problems are persisting a little bit. We did hear from Harold Mester. He's the communications director at Milwaukee Mitchell. He spoke during a news conference earlier this morning.
We've been preparing for the last year plus for large crowds coming through the airport because this is the busiest departure day probably of the whole year at this airport. So there's plenty of staff on hand, and that's helping to work through some of this. But until those systems, the airline systems, are brought back online, there's going to be delays.
It just couldn't have been more unfortunate is all. And lines were out the door this morning.
They're going to run out of booze. Like all those people with nowhere to go. They've already checked out of their hotels.
And not just delegates, but even all the security. Don't forget how many security personnel we had in town. Thousands.
Yeah, not even necessarily professional law enforcement. Other security detail, like folks hired private security to watch their equipment that was downtown. Yep. All of those things. Yeah, a lot of folks trying to get home. Imagine, too, if you're one of these people who slept for 2 hours last night. Well, for you for example. But all you want to do is get on that plane, go to sleep, roll up on your bed. You're thinking, I'm home by noon today, probably, and I'm just going to take a nap.
And unload for the rest of the day.
Step out of your Uber with your little suitcase. And
just a long
what is this?
Line of people, yep.
In terms of when we get our downtown back, it's already happening. Mm-hmm. Driving in this morning in the middle of the night, there were crews out overnight. I'm talking like fence guy, barrier guy, rental truck guy, loading up, trying to get everything out of the way so the streets could open back up.
So those giant fences, you saw them being removed?
Not the hard perimeter. I did not see work on that just yet, but in some of these security checkpoints for the vehicles, much of that apparatus was already out of the way. So if you do have business downtown today, you want to come back, you want to go to a restaurant or something by tonight,
it should be fun.
Should be good. Now, there are some folks still in town as well. Some of the networks kept their anchors here overnight and into this morning to do the wrap-up on RNC, but we'll get them out of here later today, all right?
And Peggy Williams-Smith says everything should be cleared. She told us about, 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, everything should be cleared by end of day today.
Yep, and then right into Harley-Davidson next week. Homecoming. Here we go. 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Debbie, what do you see on those roads?
Well, we're looking at some delays on northbound 43, just north of North Avenue up to Keefe. Westbound 894 is the other heavy spot, going to be just west of 27th Street, slowing down all the way to about Forest Home. Otherwise, everything else is actually looking really good right now. And while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
For all the things you need a Runnings bucket for, here's one more. The annual bucket sale gives you 15% off everything you can fit inside, even sale-priced items. Remember, the bucket is free with a $5 purchase. The bucket sale is happening at all running stores Friday and Saturday, July 19th and 20th. Shop in-store and fill your bucket with items including clothing, pet supplies, sporting goods, lawn and garden, tools, and more. Some exclusions apply. The bucket sale at Runnings, now with 80 locations. Go to runnings.com to find the store in your community.
Tell them you want your yard looking as good as mine. Vince Vitrano here for Great Lakes Landscape, sharing a 5-star review for a big job. Great Lakes was just out at a friend's property in New Berlin. He's got one of those big old barns on the property. He actually has some animals in there as well. So he asked Ryan and his team at Great Lakes to shore up the earth around the foundation of that building. It looks beautiful. In addition to stabilizing that, it was kind of a muddy, sinking slope. Now it's all perfectly sodded. They made a nice stone walkway, stone spot for parking vehicles as well. This is what my friend wrote. Communication was incredible throughout the entire process. And whether it's a big job like this or a full lawn maintenance package, still time to get on the schedule and give yourself a break this summer in the yard. Great Lakes does it all. Tell them you want your yard looking as good as mine. And my friends, Great Lakes Landscape. That's GreatLakesLandscapeWI.com.
It was a sobering headline. Social Security to run short by 2035. A possible 17% reduction in benefits. At Annex Wealth Management, we feel that Social Security is only one leg of the retirement stool, but it provides needed balance. It's time to stress test your retirement plan and move forward with guidance from the fee-only fiduciaries at Annex. Do it for you, your family, your legacy. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. It only takes a few minutes to get the ball rolling. Head to AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. We're all living longer. That means in all of our families, people are facing Alzheimer's, dementia, and other memory-related issues. Azura specializes in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. They're Wisconsin-based, 14 in our state, 4 in our area. I've been in their buildings. They're fantastic. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, empathy and compassion at the core. It's Azura.
8:48 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Feel like I haven't needed this as badly as ever. We need it right now. All week long, we talk about what goes into the show. Some things make it, some things don't. So we assign Greg Pancake Hill to whip up a little something with the leftovers. This is the Pancake Breakfast Special.
What about breakfast?
We've already had it.
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title.
Uncle Sam on a hoverboard. A guy dressed in full Joker regalia.
Saw him.
Hulk Hogan, Russell Brand, and a pudgy fat bulldog getting his own mini leather chair on stage at Pfizer Forum. Yes, those are just a few of the things that actually happened during the RNC here in Milwaukee for the past 4 days. So how was everyone's RNC experience? Good? Tired a little bit?
A little bit.
Good? All right. So we got work done, though. Everyone did a very fantastic job. But in the spirit of this... What, Eric? You all right?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Eric doesn't know where he is
in
right
the
now.
Spirit, oh, you wait. In the spirit of this segment, there might be things that you may have missed. And in true Pancake Breakfast special fashion, you are going to have to decide if these things actually happened or not to someone on the radio staff. Now, if you were listening to our Decision Wisconsin coverage on WTMJ, presented by Pasternak and Sergabel, you may already have a leg up on this. So we'll see how you do. We'll start here. Everyone who made their way in the soft security zone had to go through a security checkpoint. If you did not go through the checkpoint, Vince Vitrano, can you please explain what you had to do to go through said checkpoint?
Yeah, I mean, car by car. Took about 4 to 5 minutes per car. They opened everything up, opened the hood, looked in the back, all of that stuff. Windows down.
Did this happen or not? A WTMJ staffer got licked by the security dog.
I think that's true. I think I heard the story.
That is true. Do you have a guess who it was?
It was Johnny Murr.
It was Johnny Murr. Hear him telling the story.
And suddenly I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and I feel a dog jump into the back, and I look up, and I wasn't expecting the dog to be in my vehicle, and I just look forward because I don't want to cause any problems. And suddenly I feel either a wet nose or a tongue licking my right elbow, and I turn around, and it's the dog, a German Shepherd, and he's licking my elbow.
Oh, lucky.
How did that even...
Has to know John's a dog guy.
Yeah, it must have.
I'm glad it wasn't your car, Vitrano.
Can you imagine? I'd have had a grabber. The best part of the story, by the way, this was day one of the RNC, so it was a good place to start, but that wasn't even the end of his journey.
Then, as the dog stops licking my elbow, I hear a big crashing sound. I look in the rearview mirror, and the car behind me has smashed into the barricade that they use to separate vehicles while they're screening them. I looked once more in the rearview mirror, and there were cops, like 50 of them, Secret Service, FBI, Homeland Security, swarming this vehicle. I could no longer even see the vehicle. It was like a swarm of bees on a hive. Don't know what happened to that guy.
Again, day one of the RNC for John Mercure.
Don't know what happened to that guy.
All right, coming up next. Did a WTMJ teammate get a fake business card from a delegate? A fake business card from a delegate.
That has the ring of truthiness about it.
Little bit truth, right? It did
yes,
happen.
it
Did happen. You're right. Who got a fake business card? Of course, it was Jessica Ty.
I was talking with one of Laura Trump's people, and the man was super friendly. He said, "Here, take my card. You're on my radar. Shoot me an email."
Okay, pretty standard, right? It's kind of how it goes.
Right.
Everyone's running around trying to get interviews. So she knows she's on the air. She's in the middle of her show. She's sending an email to this delegate to interview Laura Trump. She takes a closer look at the card.
I looked at the card to send an email, and the font was so tiny, so ridiculously tiny and so tight, and it was just like a bunch of letters and some numbers and yada yada yada.
So like meant to throwing people off, right? Like don't here, oh yeah, go ahead, take my card. But then you look at it closely, it's hard to, actually read. So she did try to send the card in. She tried to send an email in the middle of the show.
Well, at some point during the show, I checked my email, nothing. And then I happened to turn the card over, and on the back of it, it says, "Please do not contact me."
What?
Wow.
So it actually has business cards that they're handing out that says, "Please do not contact me."
It's a no from me, dog.
So the best part, too, is she found the guy, so she calls him out.
We saw the guy later. He said it's a legit card, but he ran out of the other one, so he was sending that out. And he said he does get the emails, but couldn't make it work. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You decide if it was fake or not.
Nah, busted. You got busted and called out, dude.
To me.
You don't want to do it, don't do it.
I love this.
Please do not contact me.
All right, thank you. All right, finally.
I need some of those cards.
Did someone drive through a vehicle checkpoint with marijuana in their car? Did it happen to someone here? Yes or no?
God, I hope not.
I'm going to say yes, I guess, just because.
I'm going to say, you're not bringing that up.
Almost.
What?
Let me explain.
Almost.
Instead of guessing who this employee is, I promised them I'd hide their identity when they agreed to tell me this story. So this is also day one of the convention. They're driving into work.
You have to open the hood of your car. You have to open the back of your car. They were going to have dogs out there. And that's what kind of, the sirens went off a little bit in the head.
The sirens went off if there were going to be dogs.
Yeah.
Now, it was a belief, right, that these dogs were mainly searching for explosives, right? Something that could be harmful, something that poses a threat. Not necessarily those other things. So they tapped another employee for help.
Driving down, heard about the dogs, called a teammate of mine, said, "Hey, what are these dogs searching for? Do we have to make sure our cars are, completely spotless? If you know what I mean? Wink, wink."
Wink,
wink.
Yeah, that wink, wink indicated that the car was not spotless. So what do? You made the call. What did these two do?
Him and I made the responsible decision to both stop on our drives downtown, pull off at a local gas station, somewhere with a trash receptacle, and just clean out whatever, edibles or whatever things would have been in the car.
Nice. Are you going to tell us who it was?
No. Nah.
I feel like I can figure it out.
I think I'll tell you off the air. Absolutely. Especially if you can figure it out. But I will not tell you.
I don't think it's a...
I've got a short list.
I don't think it's anyone on the air. I'll give that warning to anyone who's hoping it's Mercure. It's not.
If it was Mercure, he would we would actually ask ourselves.
He'd have told the story on the air.
Don't know what happened to that guy.
I know. So there it is, one full RNC in the books. Congratulations, everybody. We made it to Friday, and even you made it through the security checkpoint safely.
All right, one more time before 9 o'clock then.
All righty. Well, we finish off with just your general delays. Northbound 43 from just north of North Avenue, slowing down up towards Keefe. Westbound 894 as usual through the construction zone, west of 27th Street to 68th. We do have a broken down vehicle, northbound 4394, right about at the Plankington off-ramp there. Just be careful. It's off on the right shoulder. And something to keep in mind, they actually have closed down MLK Drive heading past the downtown area to try and help out with the cleanup, and they're trying to get everything just basically taken care of there. So as they're picking everything up, that's what they're doing. They closed down MLK both directions right through the downtown area. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ is your station to catch all things Brewers. Listen to Bob Uecker. Jeff Leverett.
Struck him out with a changeup.
Lane Grindle.
And it's a called third strike.
And Josh Mauer.
Watch this, baby. Goodbye.
Call every game.
I'm surprised you still have fingernails on that right hand.
And have a little fun.
I got more in my bag.
On your home for the Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
Vince Vitrano for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Right now, the offer good through the end of the month. Pay as low as $18 a window, $81 a month on your patio door purchase. That's your monthly payment. Pella will help you spread it out over time so you can afford the project of your dreams. Completing installation with little or no mess, no hassle. They leave nothing behind but perfect results. And again, here's the deal. $18 per month per window, $81 per month for patio door at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hey. Thought you're supposed to do dad jokes. I didn't forget. I got a dad joke for you today.
Ooh, awesome.
Where do rainbows go when they've been bad? To Prism. So they have time to reflect on what they've done. That dad joke brought to you by Gina Della at Pella. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com today.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain. When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
It's a Fish Fry Friday. WTMJ's John Mercure here. One of my favorite fish fries is at the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. And the Mine Shaft has just lowered the price of their all-you-can-eat fish fry to, listen closely, $6.99. Seriously, $6.99. You don't need to pay $16 or more. Your Mine Shaft fish fry is $6.99. It's all you can eat. It's the best Friday fish fry value anywhere, and it's delicious. For smaller appetites, that two-piece dine-in fish fry is just $4.99. What a value. Relax with an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, an ice-cold brew, or a glass of wine. It's a perfect fish fry. A kid's menu that starts at $3.99, that's pretty perfect, too. And those kids will love the world-class game room quietly tucked away from the dining area. They play safe. You enjoy the rest of your meal. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. I love the Hartford location. Walk in today for your all-you-can-eat fish fry for $6.99. And desserts are buy one, get one free. It's the Mine Shaft.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
We get you the forecast quick, sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Nice one ahead today. Afternoon clouds, a bit warmer than we had last couple of days, high of 79 degrees. Skies clear out tonight, low down to 64. And the weekend looks great with temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Just a chance on Sunday of some showers. Been an amazing, historic week here in Milwaukee. Maybe you vote red, maybe you don't, but a lot of cool things happened in our city over the last week, and it was an honor to bring those stories to you. Eric, props to you, man. I didn't think you were going to make it. Eric, big plans Bilstad delivered.
And the day's not over yet. Uh-oh.
Stayed for the thing last night, slept here in the studio. Outstanding commitment. Thanks to everybody. Greg Pancake Hill producing the program, keeping us on the air. 9 o'clock on this Friday morning. Political Power Hour with WTMJ Steve Scafidi up next.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. For every 2 windows you buy, get 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Call 414-410-2000. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months, 5 years. Restrictions apply. Tell them I told you to call. Get an additional $250 off your project for the last windows you'll ever need. Go to uwd.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Are you ready to start a meaningful career in healthcare? Are you looking for a job that fits your work-life balance? Become a certified direct care professional today and make life better for older adults or people with a disability. WIS Caregiver Careers makes it easy with free online training plus earn a $500 bonus. See your name on Wisconsin's Certified Direct Care Registry. Sign up today at wiscaregivercdcp.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ.